Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The forever 500 Red Sox wound up with a split of their four-game series with Baltimore yesterday, care of a 5-1 loss at Fenway Park. It was an up-and-down series for Alex Cora's team on top of an up-and-down season.
We didn't get momentum, we didn't lose momentum. One game under, I think it is, right? We're inconsistent in this homestand. Pitching-wise, it seems like when we hit, we didn't pitch, and then when we pitch, we didn't hit. I think 5-5 is what we deserve.
Top prospect Marcelo Meyer had the first two hits of his major league career in this one and scored the only Sox run, but his throwing error allowed a run to score. Sox, as Alex Cora said, went 5-5 on a 10-game homestand. They're one game under 500. Garrett Crochet will pitch in Milwaukee this afternoon. At the NBA playoffs, the Knicks did it again last night. They came back from down 20, and with Jalen Brunson in foul trouble in the fourth quarter, they still beat the Pacers in Indiana 106-100. Knicks still trail the Eastern Conference Finals 2-1. Edmonton beat Dallas last night 6-1. Connor McDavid scored twice. The Oilers now lead the NHL's Western Conference Finals 2-1. Jeremy Swayman made 25 saves in net, and the U.S. won its first Hockey World Championship since 1933 yesterday. They beat Switzerland in the final 1-0 in overtime. Alex Palou of Spain won the Indianapolis 500, and the French Open tennis tournament is underway in Paris. Men's 2-seed Carlos Alcaraz and top American Taylor Fritz will both play first-round matches later today. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Bostonian!
This is Boston's Home for Sports.
Bow, bow, bow!
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
When has that been necessary to fact check?
and Hardy
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
on 98.5.
Hey there.
Sarge GPT going up.
Let me hear you say, boo, boo, boo.
Crush me, mommy.
Say my name.
I'm a robot.
I'm the son of the Pope.
I'm a goddamn drag!
Yeah, good luck, dude.
Nothing like a good tushy.
I love you. And I think you know that.
Excuse me?
Toucher and Hardy
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back some fun. Having some fun.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
This is delicious. Liechtenstein. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Or if you're listening to this, I'm going to assume that it's most likely the afternoon. And you have checked out the podcast because I saw one car on Route 9 and it wasn't going my way. And there were two cars on the freeway coming out here. In fact, I got to make sure my son's up. Because he has school today.
Really?
Yeah.
On Memorial Day?
Yeah.
I've never
Is
heard
that
of that.
legal? No, it's
Private
not
or
legal.
public? That's wild.
Actually, school's breaking the law. Absolutely.
Getting in here early in the morning, like, I figured, working day before or after, certain holidays or certain times of year, there wouldn't be anyone out there. There's always people driving. There's nobody out.
No.
There's no one out this morning. No, nobody was getting an early start on the coming home traffic. No, not yet.
No.
Nobody.
No. Nobody.
Why does your son have school today?
It's his last week of school. I'm actually going to have to give Nicholas his number, and I'm going to have him call him because I made that mistake. Nicholas, I need you in here. Play the trombone.
Oh.
Yeah. You're talking about COVID every day, Sunday morning.
Thank you, Nick.
He just slowed down on purpose.
No.
Okay.
And
Oh, he hit the post.
back in the seat.
Back in the seat. That does anyone want to freak out because I'm having him call my son to see if he's up? Does anyone want to say that's unfair?
You should have called Bird and have him do it.
Yeah, I should have. I should have woken up Bird and said, "Can you call my son to make sure he's up?" Because if he's not up, then I don't know what I'm going to do.
Do other kids have school today?
No, it's he goes to the private school, and who knows what's going on over there. But this is their last week of school. He's got finals this week, so he's driving himself to the bus. But there's gonna be no one on the road. But he's got to. But he puts white noise on his phone like at 100. Mm-hmm. Oh, Milo just texted me.
Nick says it's going straight to voicemail.
He just texted me. Okay. Nick, I got him. All right. There you go. That's over. But you know what? That ate up 2 minutes. Yeah. So there you have it. Okay. Yes, the decision was made to work this Memorial Day. I was always going to do it. I usually work Memorial Day, it turns out, especially when the Celtics are good, because if they are playing in the playoffs and they win, it eats up a lot of time. Not that it's overly difficult to do the show anyway, but they so I figure Memorial Day around here is not great because it's not good weather. Like even today, which is going to be fine, isn't like I wouldn't want to be on the Cape or like Martha's Vineyard or like Newport. There you can't go to the beach really. It's too cold.
Yeah.
And I was at the Red Sox game yesterday and it was freezing. Freezing. Like uncomfortably cold at the Red Sox game.
Being outside was no joke. Not that it was 25 degrees, which is actually cold, but your body, like you've been saying the last few weeks, it's like, all right, it's supposed to be 65. It's supposed to be warmer than this, and it just gets in your head. It doesn't matter what the temperature is, as long as it's below 60, it feels cold.
Well, it should. Cold. Well, what it should be is if we lived anywhere else on the planet is in the 70s. Like, my mother was like, my mother lives outside of Knoxville, Tennessee. It's not a tropical climate by any means. It's not, incredibly south. It's kind of like in the middle of the country. And she was saying it's been colder here. It's in the high 60s. And you're like, yeah, that's not great because you can't go in the lake or anything like that, and you can't do stuff like that. But at least it's livable.
Yeah.
So right. I never like regret not working on Memorial Day. Go ahead.
Current Boston temperature is 47 degrees. Current temperature in Nome, Alaska, 48.
Yeah. So there you go. And today's supposed to be the nice day.
Yeah. Today's going to be nice for a couple of days, and then let's see, Thursday night is prom night.
Oh, big day.
One of 2 proms my daughter is attending. And I believe we're getting rain on Thursday. And the depression and hand-wringing that will go on over that, I can only imagine. Because it's mostly about the photos that get taken beforehand and all the gatherings and all that stuff. And last year for junior prom, we did it at our house, and it was a beautiful night. And you get the decorations up and all that stuff. Thursday, I don't think is going to be great. So now I don't know what's going to happen.
Now, did your daughter go with a date to junior prom? Neither of my kids are juniors. Did your daughter take a date, or did she go with friends?
No, she took a date.
Because a lot of people I know took, because they don't have it at my son's school. He wasn't a junior anyway, but they the public school kids I know, a lot of them went as like gaggles of friends.
Yeah, I think that happens. No, she went with a date to junior prom, but someone else for this year,
but she's going to the prom with the same guy, both proms.
No. Different guy this year.
No. But she's going to 2 proms this year, but the same guy.
Yes, her prom and then his prom.
Are they going to be matriculating at the same school, the same college?
No.
Oh, that's good news. That's good news. Because then she could go like, then they start talking about getting married and ruining their lives.
I don't know that being the cards for either one of them. But it's...
No, I'm just saying that that would make me nervous if the kids...
Yeah.
Because I watched this movie. I had a friend over and they wanted to watch this movie. It's these It's this, and this is getting off the point of your daughter. So your daughter was here. Now this is the movie, and the movie is this girl. She lives in like Missouri, and she finds out that she's pregnant, and her parents are like Bible thumpers. So but they're not really in the movie that much, and she has to find a way to get to Albuquerque to get an abortion. So she finds like this old friend of hers who she's not really friends with anymore. It's kind of like this like road movie. But the boyfriend keeps showing up places and like and trying to get her to have the kid because he wants her to stay in town because she's leaving for college, and he's using the pregnancy to kind of try to get her to stay in town. This is I forget the name of the movie. I'm sure you're all on the edges of your seats to hear what it is. It's actually not bad. Breckin Meyer is in it. He plays a anti-abortion advocate that the boyfriend finds out about and calls, and they kidnap the girls to take them to this house, and they somehow get away. But there you go. And she ends up getting the abortion in Albuquerque. And then coming home, and the mother's understanding. She says, I don't agree with what you've done, but I will love you no matter what.
Unpregnant?
Unpregnant. There you go. That's the name of the movie. Now we're talking.
I went to the movies on Saturday. This is what? Twice inside of the last 2 weeks?
I saw a movie on Friday.
All right, so the decision was made that me, my wife, and son were going to go to the movies on Saturday. We don't even include our daughter in our plans anymore. She's got her own life.
Right.
I hear she's doing well.
Yeah.
So knowing that I was supposed to play golf Saturday morning, and I'm like, no, because I'm kind of feeling guilty about not being around, even though I'm up and out of the house and making the turn by, and at the time any of them even get out of bed, I still feel like, I'm missing out. I'm not there. I'm like, no, I'll come home. I'll play golf. I'll have a little lunch. And I come home. We'll all go to the movies together. As soon as I said it, I regretted it because I knew what was going to happen, and it happened. I bought the tickets from the movie for the new Mission Impossible. At 3:10 Saturday afternoon. Plenty of time to play, come home, shower, we'll go. Then I look at the run time for the movie. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Damn it.
So and we're seeing it in IMAX.
Oh.
Now, you would think one would not be able to sleep in an IMAX action movie. However, I did it during Thunderbolts 2 weeks ago. Same theater, same IMAX experience, loud, crashy, banging action film. But I kind of want to see this Mission Impossible, so I'm thinking this was a mistake. So I go and play Saturday, come home, we all go to the movies, and I'm feeling I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm going to make it. I even took like a 5-minute nap at home. It's like, that'll be enough to get me through. Once you get into those Twizzlers, have a few handfuls of popcorn, the blood sugar spikes, and then it goes back down. At some point, he was talking about getting out to save the world somehow, and the next thing I knew, he was on an aircraft carrier. Like, son of a bitch, how'd he get on that aircraft carrier? I don't know. I slept.
He does his own stunts.
I hadn't heard that.
He does. Well, get with the times. Tom Cruise does his own stunts. Yeah, I saw Lilo and Stitch.
Were you awake for all of it?
It wasn't bad.
Okay.
It was fine. I mean, it wasn't like a disaster. It was whatever. And it was not 2 hours and 40 minutes.
I'm sorry. I misspoke. It's 2 hours and 49 minutes.
Jesus.
Well, that seems necessary with the storytelling required for Mission Impossible.
Well, because you got to go back and you have to make references to every single freaking Mission Impossible
That's
in
right.
the series.
This is the last one.
Oh,
right?
yeah. They got to put a nice bow on this
thing.
thing.
For the rest of our lives. I mean, do they make reference to all the Missions Impossibles that happened before the Missions Impossibles with Tom Cruise?
No, I don't know.
Because, Mission Impossible has been around for since before at least the two of us were born. Mission Impossible that's no original idea. I mean, that was just some old idea that they redid.
When did that start? Early 60s?
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
It was a TV show, right? Yeah. Like Mission Impossible, like I've never seen the TV show. I just know it exists. But it seems like to be around the same time as the cop movie that Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd redid.
1966.
Yeah, there you go.
Before I was born.
Dragnet. You weren't born in 1966?
Nope.
1968?
7.
Oh. Oh, Johnny.
Do you have any memories of the Summer of Love?
Which year?
The Summer of Love was 69.
69.
No.
It was 68 or 69.
No, I do not have a memory of that.
That's too bad. Tom Cruise looks odd. Now, he's 62 years old, so of course he looks great for 62. But he has done things to his face that have, like, changed him. And I think it's fillers. I think I don't know why I don't get the reasoning behind it. I guess to get rid of wrinkles, but you just inject your skin full of stuff. So, it pushes it out and takes the wrinkles away. But he's obviously in really good shape, but he looks puffy. His head is big, or maybe that's from the HGH or something. I don't know, but I can't help but looking at him, and his hair is like too long. Like he is making up for the age by getting his hair long and stuff. It's just, he's odd to look at. And I don't know if it was the one before this or the one before that they were shooting during COVID. And I couldn't help, when I'm watching the movie, I keep thinking they're trying to keep like social distancing in this scene. Like nobody was too close to each other. And they kept doing cutaways instead of having two people in the frame. I'm like, this is obnoxious and stupid. And the last couple movies before this one weren't very good.
That's right. They couldn't have had anyone next to each other. It would have killed off the species. If you want to see what looks like when you're taking a lot of hormones, and he admits it, is that Joe Rogan and his stand-up special where he sweats through his yellow shirt and doesn't tell a joke. That's
the stand-up comedy special that's
even the
oddly
most
lacking in comedy.
Even the most intense Joe Rogan fans would tell you that that's not a good stand-up set. That it's not. That it's really bad. Like it's bad. It's like a whiff. Generally, those would not come out even on Netflix. Like you could see a comedian you don't even really like, and if they're doing a special, by that point they've toured with something for like a year.
Yeah.
Or they've, honed it to like such a degree. Rogan's special is a disaster. It's a disaster. It's not funny at all. And he comes off real physically weird because he's sweating so much and it's all weird, but he is someone that like his face has changed so much because he used to be really, really handsome. That was kind of his thing. That's why he was getting those roles. It's because he was handsome and he was still in really good shape. But now he's more muscular than when he was younger. But it's that like Iron Sheik muscular, like that, like the distended belly with the muscles in it.
We call that the Terry Francona.
Well, Terry Francona was the Iron Sheik. Yeah, Terry Francona had the same thing. He had that like bloated stomach with like defined abs in it.
Yeah.
Which is, what the hell's the point of having?
We couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, like if you have a pot belly, like
what are you doing?
why? Yeah, it's just like a tight pot belly because all your organs are like jammed against it.
Weird.
Because when you take that many hormones, this isn't just testosterone. This is like HGH and a bunch of other stuff. They're taking, I would imagine, a cocktail of hormones. I'm sure Rogan's admitted to this, that taking like I know he takes like hormones. But this won't happen if you just take testosterone. But if you take like a bunch of stuff, yeah, you like puff out, like your head grows. I mean, you saw it with Barry Bonds. Like your head grows. You get a lot more muscular, but it's like a thickness. It's not like a cut.
It's the Harvey Keitel. Same thing. That extended torso, and it's not fat. Like you see it, guys. They still have like ripped abs, but they've got big bellies.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen Harvey Keitel with his shirt off outside of Mean Streets.
Well, would you please watch Bad Lieutenant tonight? And
yes. That one's
Bad Lieutenant was just like kind of like corny to me. Like I just thought it was kind of corny.
What?
Because it's like this is going to be like super.
Since when is full frontal male nudity corny?
While weeping.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, it just seemed like they tried to throw a bunch of stuff against the wall and go like, let's make this outrageous. And then every time I know that's the point, I can't stop but chuckle. It's like seeing a band that's supposed to be scary. It's that kind of thing. like when I saw Mudvayne open, Lincoln Park open for Mudvayne because I had to go take Lincoln Park out, and Mudvayne played, and they're like, "Rah!" And you're like, all right, okay.
Slipknot wasn't scary, but I did have the sense that something bad was going to happen on that stage. Only because there's too many people.
It's just too many guys in masks running around.
Well, a bunch of them are dead, right? Like at least a couple of them.
The drummer died.
And then another one of the guys that bang a drum died.
Let me tell you, that original drummer, was it Jordison? Is that his last name? It's either Joey or Jody. I can't remember. After he died, I went back and watched a bunch of his videos. That dude was amazing. Like, way better than you would think for...
It's Joey Jordison.
Joey Jordison, thank you.
I think if Slipknot was a regular band, that they would have even had more, like, mainstream critical success. Because they're not a bad band.
That's what the lead singer did. He went and did
Corey
that Stone
Taylor.
Sour, and that was actually, like you just said, it was more of a mainstream...
Actually, Stone Sour predated Slipknot.
Right, of course.
Adam 12.
You need to know that when you're doing the interview.
When you're doing Turbo, yeah.
Yeah, Stone Sour is not so great. But Slipknot, you would think we're a terrible band, but they're not.
They have decent,
Yeah.
like 3-minute, like pop rock songs. They sound a lot, heavier because of all the drums.
Well, it's like heavy, but he sings with melody and there's like choruses and stuff. And he's got a good voice.
And he's a decent songwriter, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have a problem with Slipknot. They just were kind of, of course it was corny. I mean, it was they were dressed with numbers. But then when Nardwuar interviewed them, they at least Corey Taylor was playing along, and they had the masks on. And that was early in Slipknot's career. So if you do a Nardwuar interview all right, then I'm okay with you.
Corey Taylor came in on Adam 12's show.
Correct, at BCN.
And covered Robbie Road Steamer's I Put a Baby in You live on the air.
Yeah.
He was a big fan of the song.
Huh?
It's a nice moment.
Well, it's good that you both remember that.
Yeah.
That's going to stick with you out of all your careers. You'll be on your deathbeds.
It's only slightly better than when Bronson Arroyo came into my studio and covered Everlong by Foo Fighters.
Well, we made fun of Bronson Arroyo, and then I ended up liking him after.
Yeah, he's a really good guy.
He came into this show, too.
Yeah.
He's just a likable guy who got it.
I've had him on shows I've been on a couple times, and I really went after him the first time I had him on, and he was like, I get it.
Yeah.
Because he had that commercial. Because in Cincinnati, they never called him out.
Right.
Cincinnati, they let him, and they let him run loose here.
He was doing all sorts of commercials out there once they traded him. Yeah.
Believe me, but they were you're not off the hook here. Before I got to town, you were letting him do whatever he wanted to do. And you were sitting there acting like it was good. And the first time he came in, I really let him have it. And then he took it with good sport. And then so that made me like him.
You were like Seth Meyers to Trump. You were really letting him have it.
No, John Oliver to Trump. Or is it Seth Meyers or
they're
Trump?
all of them.
Oh, yeah.
They run through. Too much tuna guys run through the whole list.
He's really letting Trump have it right now, All right. We will be back in just a moment. Everything that happened last night.
You're listening.
Heights in a cape.
and Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Dutcher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, what happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. I don't know what it was. It was people shooting hoops? Or, Were people shooting hoops last night?
They were. Eastern Conference Finals with the Indiana Pacers taking the first two games in New York with a 2-0 lead. Back in Indiana last night, and Indiana continued. It looked like they're winning ways.
Here comes Halliburton into the forecourt. A three from up top, and he hit it.
They on the verge of delivering a knockout blow right now going into this halftime.
It's an 11-point run and an 18-point lead.
Pacers would get the lead to 20 last night against the visiting New York Knicks.
Second quarter, up 20.
Yeah.
Yep.
So looks like they're going to take the one could say the insurmountable 3-0 series lead.
As history shows, it is insurmountable.
In the NBA, that's it. It's going to insurmountable.
Insurmountable.
Maybe, but in the second half, the Knicks said not so fast.
Towns between the legs, dribble up top, snatch back three-pointer straight on, nailed it! What a shot from Karl Anthony Towns! An unbelievable do-or-die fourth quarter from Towns. He has 20 points in the last 7 minutes, and the Knicks lead 94-90.
How about that? So they take the 4-point lead. Would they be able to hold on? Well, Karl Anthony Towns, as good as he was in the fourth, needed some help from that other guy.
Now it's anybody's game. Inbound to Brunson, near side arc, watched by Neesmith. Takes her to the foul line, pulls up for two. Floater is good. Brunson delivers. It's 100-98.
And the Knicks would hold on and go on to win 106-100 over Indiana. Pacers still with the 2-1 series lead, but continuing the trend of visiting teams winning on the road throughout this playoff series. The Knicks do it last night and win Game 3.
Well, did you watch any of this?
Yeah.
A little bit.
You see Karl Anthony Towns, the way he runs around, the way Karl Anthony Towns looks like an 11-year-old would look who's watched too many NBA videos on YouTube. You know, the way he reacts after scoring, the way he throws passes, the way he jumps around out there, just looks weird.
You don't like it?
No, it's not that I like it or don't like it. It's just he's a fully grown man and he's acting like an 11-year-old. It's weird.
When you see someone acting like that, the first thing I think of, and the way it strikes me, is this isn't sustainable. You can't continue to do this throughout the rest of the series and another series after this.
Well, he only did it for a quarter. I mean, he was terrible the whole game until the fourth quarter. He's an albatross for them defensively.
Oh, yes. And the Celtics did that the entire last series. They hunted him over and over and over again. That's what Indiana's been doing.
Well, he had 4 points going into the fourth.
Yeah,
and then he had 20 points in the fourth, so he had good for him. But
I didn't watch the whole game. Was Brunson getting picked
Brunson
on
wasn't
a little
good
bit? Because he was a -6. He was
no,
the only starter.
Brunson wasn't good, and they take advantage of him a lot. His defense.
Defensively, yes.
They take advantage of him a lot defensively. He a lot of times they're better without him on the court. Yeah. That's why it's funny. We were talking to someone, and I said there's only 2 elite players left in this, top elite players left in the playoffs, and they came back. It wasn't Forsberg. It might have been Jared Weiss or someone came back hard, like that Brunson was an elite player.
Yeah, it was Jared Weiss.
And look, Jared Weiss knows way more about the NBA than I do, but it just doesn't. Jalen Brunson isn't that complete player. He's not someone who, he's someone who can be taken advantage of, and these other guys can't.
Right.
Like Anthony Edwards, when he wants to, can be dominant, dominant on both ends. Obviously, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander can be, dominant. So it's just Brunson. You can push him around. He's a little chubby guy. They all switch to get mismatches on him, and that's how
Yeah.
A lot of things are done.
But something happens late in games. It's weird, with the Knicks especially. That everybody switches everything. The idea is to exploit the best matchup possible. So if you have the weak defender and you have a star player with the ball at the top, you automatically set a screen to bring your weak defender to your best player. And that happens over and over and over again. And the Knicks do have two holes on defense, and yet somehow other teams can't finish them off. The Knicks, top to bottom roster-wise, shouldn't be where they are.
Well, the thing is that Towns, they kept feeding him in the fourth, which is good on them. And you can credit Thibodeau for that. He talked after the game about doing it. Is that when they saw Towns was getting hot, they were like, just feed him the ball. And, kept him out there. But, they started Mitchell Robinson last night. They did a lot of things. Josh Hart played well. He didn't score a lot of points, but he played pretty well last night, in my opinion. Played hard. So there you have it. The league can have a sigh of relief because at least they survived for a couple more days. Because there was some report that they said, newsflash, we've heard from the NBA offices that they'd like the Knicks to be in the finals. And you're like, no, really?
Yeah, how about that?
Pacers' best defender, believe it or not, is Aaron Nesmith, and he turned his ankle pretty bad last night.
Yeah.
He missed a lot of time, came back to play in the fourth quarter, but who knows what that ankle's going to look like tomorrow.
It looked bad. Yeah, it looked bad when he hurt it. It's funny because I hear people talk about it, and they're like, well, because you got Minnesota and Oklahoma City in the West, and so whoever comes out of the West, you're comparing Minneapolis to Indiana or Oklahoma City. That's nonsense. There's only so many cities in the United States. Like, if Minnesota's this disaster for the NBA, they got problems. Minnesota's a top 20 market easily. Minneapolis, I don't understand that at all. In what sport is it a disaster? Like when all those Twins World Series were a huge disaster? That's a big enough town, believe me.
That, and you have it's less about the town than it is about the player playing in that town at this point.
Well, no, but they were talking about the towns because with Oklahoma City, there is a lot of hand-wringing nationally about them being in a finals because this was before the game 3, but a lot of hand-wringing about them being in the finals. It doesn't really matter. People couldn't tell you where Oklahoma is. I'm not positive I could tell you where Oklahoma is. I get it confused with Nebraska or something like that. It's all the same. It's all that Big 12 country. It's all the same.
This middle area.
Yeah.
It's got that nice panhandle. Goes right over Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's and that's how I've always looked at it.
Yeah. There will not be a sweep, though, as we're discussing here, as the Minnesota Timberwolves. Holy crap. Were you watching any of that on Saturday?
I gave up after about 30 seconds when I tuned in and saw Minnesota was up 40.
I was just fascinated when Minnesota was going to take their starters out because they did it after Oklahoma City did. So I was just fascinated, when are you going to get these guys off the court?
That's what happened in the last game, the Knicks and Celtics. Thibodeau left his starters into the 3 minutes to go, and his team was up 35. I'm
yeah,
like, was this really necessary?
They were up
I know you're used to this, but really?
But it was the end of the third, and they were up by 40 or more.
Yeah.
And everyone from Oklahoma City was out, and he just kept his guys in. I wonder if he wanted Anthony Edwards to get 30, if that's why he kept them in.
I think there's a real, considering some of the comebacks we now see in the NBA, where a 30-point lead can be erased in a second half. But in certain circumstances, just look over at the other bench. Well, if the other guy has all of his subs in, I think you can do that.
Because Edwards, and then I stopped watching, but Edwards hit a shot to give him 30, and then I think he got off the court. I'm wondering if he wanted to let Edwards get 30.
Check out the starters' minutes for the Oklahoma City Thunder. 21, 25, 19. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander played 28 minutes in a conference finals game, and 22 for Dort. They just packed it in early, and they lost, as you said, John, by actually 42 points.
Sorry.
So there you go. They'll go again tonight, I believe, and
at 8:30.
And then we'll get Game 4 in Indiana tomorrow night with the Knicks up 2-1 in the series.
Pacers up 2-1.
Pacers up 2-1 in the series. Thank you very much. All right. Looks like there might be a sweep going on in the Eastern Conference Finals for the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm not sure. Carolina really showing up there in Game 3.
Boy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
6-1. Or excuse me. Hold on. Let me go back and find it here. 6-2. That was Saturday night.
Yeah.
As Florida is just apparently going to steamroll their way into the Stanley Cup final.
Did you see Marchand in between periods?
No.
Downing a blizzard? They go to
like
him
a DQ?
Yeah.
That's got to be nice that they get DQ. That means he sent someone out for DQ during the game.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Eating a blizzard in between periods.
That's like
I don't think he was kidding. I think he actually ate a blizzard.
That's like Richie
periods.
Rich.
Yeah.
That you can just get whatever you want whenever you want it. Like you want a blizzard, you're getting a blizzard. Good for him. All right, very good. And
then
the Oilers won.
Yeah, Oilers won 6. That's what I was thinking of. 6-1 the final last night.
Right.
Connor McDavid, I think he had 2 goals last night.
Man,
that's great.
If the Oilers make it, if it's Oilers Florida, that's not so bad.
Again, same as last year.
Yeah, that's not so bad. At least you get a little star power in there. I can't tell you how much I'd watch of it, but if the Oilers are in it, I'm sure more likely to watch it than if Dallas is in it. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox lost to Baltimore at Fenway Park yesterday 5-1. Marcelo Meyer, 2 hits, and scored the only Sox run. Red Sox split their 4-game series with Baltimore. They split their 10-game homestand. Garrett Crochet will start in Milwaukee this afternoon. Knicks won last night 106-100 in Indiana over the Pacers. They now trail the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals 2-1. Tage Thompson a goal in overtime, and that handed Team USA its first Hockey World Championship in 92 years yesterday. 1-0 over Switzerland. Bruins goaltender Jeremy Swayman, a 25-save shutout, and Alex Palou became the first Spanish man to win the Indianapolis 500 yesterday. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Super Service Today. Massachusetts is #1 provider for residential and commercial plumbing, heating, cooling, and drain cleaning, day or night, and always done right. Visit superservicetoday.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
Tuncher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub. If your alarm clock sounds like this is the show for you. Toucher and Hardy, the Sports Hub.
No chance you were fueling with a blizzard here, were you?
Yeah, that's a little chocolate chip cookie dough blizzard right there. There's nothing, you can't beat it. It's the best dessert in the world. So I better get lifetime free supply of Dairy Queen now. Thank you, fellas.
That's Brad Marchand eating ice cream. We're Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, what else happened yesterday?
There's multiple reports it was not, in fact, a blizzard.
Okay.
Way to go, John.
Well, I mean...
that withering look of pity there.
No. I don't know how this story took off to the degree that it did because I didn't see the original footage. I'm looking at him right now eating from a spoon in the locker room.
Yeah.
But he's got the spoon upside down. It is the exact opposite way you would eat a blizzard. The spoon is upside down, so it's like peanut butter. Oh, and there's a story in the AP that says, most NHL teams have all these high-protein and sugary snacks in the dressing room for in-between periods, and peanut butter is a big one. And that's how you would eat peanut butter. It looks like peanut butter on that spoon. Why anyone thinks it's a blizzard, I don't know, because they went to the Dairy Queen after the game the other night, and there's one only like a couple miles from where the Panthers play, but I don't know.
There's nothing close to where the Panthers play. It's amazing that there's actually a Dairy Queen nearby.
All right.
How about that?
I can take no more of the Dairy Queen talk.
No problem.
Why don't you like Dairy Queen?
Moving on.
What's your favorite ice cream, Fred? This is a good Memorial Day conversation.
And when you go to Baskin Robbins,
What's your go-to ice cream? Want to go out for ice cream? I don't know. Where are we going? What are we going to get? If I were to say we're going to get blank, what would the thing be where you'd say, yes, absolutely, I'm all in?
I don't want to do this.
No, we're already doing it. It's already happening.
I don't.
6:48. It's Memorial Day, Monday.
If
morning.
you were, but people are going to listen to this later in the day. I don't want to do this.
And they're going to love it, and they're going to say,
if you asked me to get ice cream, I'd be like, no, we're not in a relationship.
Why don't you want? Free
I'm
ice
not
cream?
gay.
Why don't you want free ice cream? People will give you ice cream.
I wouldn't want to go out and get ice cream with a guy. That would seem a little over the top.
I saw when I was downtown one time a bunch of bodybuilder types.
Yeah.
And they had obviously all been to the gym that day. And then they were out on the sidewalk enjoying big, double scoops of ice cream. That was their post-workout fuel. And all I could think of it was men and women, all of them together as some Saturday morning workout crew. I'm like, you frickin' tools. Look at you. Look at you. You got up at dawn to go lift your weights, and now you're going to... Yeah, and
neutralize whatever gains you got.
Nah, they're probably not. They probably know what they're doing. But do you know what I'm saying, Fred?
Did you guys ever see Rich Piana?
I don't know who that
Okay,
is.
go Google him. It's pretty funny. You'd like his videos.
But they wanted to be on display eating their ice cream for all the people who were walking by.
I want to go home between the two of you. He's talking in my ear. Adam's talking in my ear.
Well, now you're talking about Rich Piana. I don't know who that is. I was in the middle of something.
Yeah. You didn't like that they were eating ice cream. Rich Piana.
Right, tell me about Rich Piana, because I'll like this. Go ahead.
No, you will. His videos, he's dead, which makes it more interesting. His videos are fascinating. He is one of these guys that got those implants that you can blow up, like fake muscle, and he ate every night a pint of Ben & Jerry's. He was one of these guys that ate 17,000 calories a day. If you watch Rich Piana videos, I assure you, you will not be bored. He's high on pills. He's showing you him taking steroids. He's out of his mind. He ended up dying, and his heart weighed like 5 times as much as a man's heart's supposed to weigh when he died.
I remember this guy.
Yes,
now.
and
Yeah.
he's fascinating. If you ever go down with a rabbit hole, in fact, Hardy, I know you would like
Hardy,
this.
you know him because everyone knows the meme of the jacked up guy looking at his phone, but it looks comical because the phone's so small in his hands. That's Rich Piana. He's enormous.
Yeah.
He's tattooed.
I know this guy.
And he's got this big caveman head. Yeah,
But if you're ever lonely and bored, you can go through a bunch of Rich Piana videos, and you will be entertained. It's fascinating because he had everything done to him that you could possibly have done, all the fake muscles and everything else. It's pretty weird. That's
Pint
his
of ice
idea.
cream, huh? Every night.
But he would eat a pint of Ben & Jerry's every night. That's like 2,000 calories.
What flavor do you think, Hardy?
Yeah, well, that's the only question that I'm interested in.
Yeah,
and I'm sure you don't have that information.
Moose tracks, something like that. What do you think?
Oh boy,
Do they don't do moose tracks?
Oh, sorry.
he died at 46. If you must know, Rich Piana. He was born in 1970, 3 years after John.
Cherry Garcia.
Hey, Marcelo Mayer got called up.
2-2 and a base in the right field. Fastball at 94 for his first major league hit.
One of many for Marcelo Mayer.
And a baseball back to the dugout. That'll be in his locker.
That's a nice touch. He doesn't just throw it in the dugout. Actually hands it to Marcelo. Like, here you go. Good job, kid.
Like that never happens.
Yeah, that's
You're
a nice touch.
Stunned that he got the baseball back.
That's a nice touch.
How long before we all stop saying Mayer? I'll do it for at least the rest of the season, occasionally.
I was at that game yesterday. It was freezing.
Yeah.
And tickets to that game were ridiculously expensive.
Really?
I ended up sitting beyond Pesky's pole because and I bought those tickets. I went with two other guys. I went there. I bought those tickets for like $120 a piece.
You sat in the corner like section 2 or 3 back there?
Yeah, like right field stands.
Oh, man.
And because the tickets that I normally get for like $100 were going for like $450, and they never went down. Like they never went down. They were expensive 2 days before, a day before, and the day of the game. It must have been Memorial Day, and there must have been like people in from out of town that just wanted to go to Fenway. But it was ridiculous for two bad teams. It was crazy how many people, and they had a doubleheader the night before. You would think that it would be pretty easy to get into that game. Sunday 1:00 games generally are pretty easy.
They're
the
holiday. Has to be.
It's the worst seats by far I've ever had to a Red Sox game.
Fans who don't travel come up for the one game.
There were like a lot of Oriole fans there, but it wasn't. I'm not positive what it was. I'm just guessing that people were in town. They take a long weekend to Boston for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I think it's that, and I think a lot of people. Well, we noticed a lot of college kids that were like home now, and they're I'm guessing freshmen because they're wearing their Happy Valley sweatshirts and stuff.
They're all
like
proud
that.
of themselves still.
Yeah. It's okay, whatever. So
they're like Bert.
No one is like Bert.
No, like Bert's
No
like
one.
a kid that's a freshman that's coming home for his first summer.
Yeah.
Your lip is really bleeding.
I can't get it to stop.
What happened?
I had like a little piece of lip skin there, and I just ripped it off because it was
right.
bothering me, and now it won't stop bleeding.
He's like one of these guys in an 80s movie where it won't stop bleeding. They're like, you have to go to the doctor.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. That's like one of those 80s movies.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Well, the bruises like Tom Hanks had in Philadelphia. He said he got it. He said he got it from racquetball. It wasn't from racquetball.
Because he was so
Spoiler
wealthy, he was playing racquetball. That was a big thing of the rich. If you recall, even in Wall Street, they played racquetball.
Yeah.
Racquetball was the country club sport of the rich.
Well, that I believe the scene with Gordon Gekko and Bud. I think it was a metaphor for something else, Fred, because Bud he's tiring, he's getting beat, and Gordon Gekko, not a bead of sweat on him. He says, "Come on, sport, finish the game."
That's right. Kept firing bullets at him.
Yeah,
I remember.
What else from the Red Sox? All right. Well, his first hit, his first double.
And a line shot into the alley. That's onto the grass, on the track, up against the wall. Meyer into second base, and the leadoff double in the ninth. His second hit.
So they must have won, right?
No.
No, they lost 5-1.
No, because they're a 500 team.
That's right. It was. Look, still, don't take away from Meyer's day.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome waking up as a big leaguer. Just the whole day, kind of getting prepared for the game with my family in town. It was a special day.
Okay. Very excited.
They showed they had like a hidden camera thing where they told him he was going up.
Yes,
and it was the most disappointing thing ever.
I know.
I watched that.
Yeah, and it's like, wow, okay, this kid's been a huge star since he was probably in 7th grade. He's known. He's been in AAA. He's known he's going up. It's only cool when they like tell someone who's been around for like a long time in the minors, or if they tell someone who had probably given up the dream at some point in their lives. Meyer's just some kid that knew eventually it was going to happen.
He's 22. He's raking in AAA. It's pretty obvious. He's one of the top prospects in Major League Baseball.
It kind of bastardized the whole notion of put the hidden camera in the room. Like, it was more just like, hey, get your bags. You have to go now. Like, and the guy's like, you know what? You deserve it. Just be you. And he's like, okay, yeah. Like, I'm going to go now and play in the major leagues, as has been expected for a long time. It's not like he's never been on Fenway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it was, look, he was obviously nervous. He struck out 3 out of 4 at-bats his first game, but whatever, It wasn't like one of those cool ones where they freak out. Go ahead.
Do you like the call-up scene on The Rookie? Did you ever see that Dennis Quaid, the Jim Morris story?
No, I know that story, but I don't know
the
that.
The call-up scene in that one is pretty good because
good.
They're going back to Arlington to play, and it's kind of like a slow burn as he's down, and that's the story you're describing. That was Jim Morris. It's like dream passed him by, can't pitch anymore, and then he finally gets the call up. So, no. If you're expecting that with the Marcelo Meyer call-up video, it ain't that.
Yeah, and when they call up Roman Anthony, we'll be even more emotional,
That's right. The number 1 prospect in all of Major League Baseball.
He'll be like, what?
Guess what?
What? I'm going up.
Little old me?
Yeah, whoa, it's going to be, I can't believe this is happening. This guy's making millions and millions and millions of dollars. Yeah, it's like, whoa, hot dog. I get to fly in an airplane and everything. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Adam 12 had quite the weekend. He was out at Boston Calling, where I asked my daughter. She said, her friend was at Boston Calling, and then we went through the lineup and she went, oh, yeah, okay. I don't need to go. All right, but Adam was there, and we'll talk to him in just a moment.
HD1. It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Well, the Red Sox had 10 hits yesterday, but only one run. They lost to Baltimore 5-1 at Fenway Park. The Sox committed 3 errors in this game, including 2-on-1 play in the 7th inning that allowed a pair of runs to score and put the game out of reach. The good news for the team, Marcelo Meyer had the first 2 hits of his Major League career.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome waking up as a big leaguer. Just the whole day kind of getting prepared for the game with my family in town. It was a special day.
The Sox go 5-5 on their homestand after splitting a 4-game series with the Orioles. Garrett Crochet will pitch in Milwaukee this afternoon in the opener of a 3-game series. The New York Knicks beat Indiana last night 106-100. They trail the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals 2-1. Karl Anthony Towns scored 20 of his 24 points in the fourth quarter as the Knicks came back from down 20 in the first half for the win. Tage Thompson's goal 2-2 into overtime handed Team USA its first Hockey World Championship in 92 years yesterday, 1-0 over Switzerland. Bruins goaltender Jeremy Swayman capped off a 7-0 run in this tournament with a 25-save shutout for the championship. Edmonton beat Dallas last night 6-1. The Oilers now lead the NHL's Western Conference Finals 2-1, and the French Open tennis tournament underway in Paris. First-round play going on as we speak. Men's 2-seed Carlos Alcaraz and top American Taylor Fritz will both play later. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Cape Cod Lumber and CCL Homescapes. 100% employee-owned, your go-to independent lumber yard. Partner with CCL and CCL Homescapes for all your building needs right in Abington. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5, The Sports Hub.
It's called Rising and Grinding.
Well, start your
got your finger on the pulse, Fred. Seldom right and never wrong.
Right here. Is that Toucher or is that Hardy?
Kinda looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
Hey! We are Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube live. We're on YouTube all the time. And up there, the shows are up there unless something happened where we had to take it down. Over the weekend is it still going today?
No, it wrapped up yesterday.
All right. Boston Calling, which is the big music festival in Boston. And where is that held?
Over at the Harvard Athletic Complex.
Okay. And Adam works for them. And Adam, were you in lockstep with Heineken for this? Or?
Yes. Heineken enjoyed the coverage we provided last year's festival down at Rock 92.9, and I had a sales guy here come to me back in January and said, "Hey, Heineken wants to do Boston Calling again for Rock 92.9," and I said, they understand the situation with Rock 92.9, don't they? And he said, yes, they do. They enjoyed having you out. They like the social media. They like the interviews. So I said, well, I was going to go anyway, so I'll certainly go now if Heineken is footing the bill. So thanks to Heineken for sponsoring the coverage this weekend.
So Adam was out there. He's putting stuff on social media. He's got his dumb hats on. He's got everything going on for himself. And, we're not in the game anymore, Hardy. For a long time, Hardy and I came up in the rock radio world.
Yeah.
And, we're out of the game, but, Adam's still in there, taking stations down one by one until there's nothing left. He's the Godzilla of rock radio.
Just laying waste to any transmitter he comes across.
Absolutely. You know how they famous, like Godzilla will step on a power line and it will blow up? That's like him. He just steps on antennas and crushes them. And so, Adam, you were out there. Now, you got to talk to some bands, huh?
I did, yes.
All right. So, what are you going to do, Adam? You're going to tell us? Are we going to have to guess? How do you want to play this?
Well, I mean, I think you have the audio of me promoting the Saturday what I was doing Saturday and what I was doing Sunday. If you want to, roll that out and see if you know any of these bands that I was talking to.
So Adam is out there, and Heineken are good enough to sponsor it, and it looked good. Like
it was, Their activation is tremendous. They got nice space out there.
Well, I mean, their activation.
Yeah.
Look at who's in the business.
Activation, that's right.
Well, for all of us that wouldn't know that term, including myself, I'm talking about they had like an area, like a stage.
The Heineken Green Room. Yeah. It was what it was called.
Yeah, Adam, the Heineken Green Room.
Yeah.
But when I'm describing it to people,
go ahead.
They might not know activation in Heineken Green Room. That might not make sense. So it's nice looking. It's like this big, like kind of complex looking thing. And there's a stage in it and there's tables and it looks like they're serving Heineken beers over there as well. It looks like there may be some food. There was some people of various attraction levels there. But nonetheless, Adam's out here. And if you think Adam wasted his weekend, listen to what he was promoting.
Day 2, Boston Calling Music Festival. As you can see, I am live from the Heineken.
Now, who's in the background? That Dylan?
Jacob Dylan, actually, yeah.
Oh, nice.
His dad was playing later on in the show.
Oh, that was Music Midtown.
That's right.
Who was playing? Do you know who was playing in the background?
Oh,
Come
no,
on.
I don't.
What stage were you by?
I was by the green stage, which is the main stage.
Oh,
They've
you're by
got
the main
one
stage.
big main stage now. Instead of two main stages that alternate, they got one big main stage.
Were you able to get an eye on any of the Dave Matthews Band before you took off yesterday?
Absolutely not. No,
they weren't. They weren't around backstage.
No.
It wasn't a Motley Crue situation.
And I did not stay for that set. God bless you if you did.
Day 2, Boston Calling Music Festival. As you can see, I am live from the Heineken Green Room all weekend long. You can listen to me live until 6 o'clock.
Yeah, good luck.
I sound so energetic.
You do sound energetic. You can listen to him live.
It's nice at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
All you need is a CB radio and 2 cans. You can listen to me on a Campbell soup can connected to another Campbell soup can with a string.
With a string in between.
All weekend long. You can listen to me live until 6 o'clock on the free Rock 92.9 app. And make sure that you're, well, I was about to say following, but like if you're watching this, you're probably following Rock 92.9 on whatever platform you're seeing this on. Yeah, keep following because a little later on today, you're going to...
I mean, so succinct.
Jesus.
I have no idea how or why you would be consuming this content, but if you've managed to find it, God bless, and it will continue.
There's very little editing.
It's got to be minimum 30 seconds, gentlemen. So
you're buying a little
time.
But hey, he could just discuss the bands he's talking about, right? I mean,
well, yeah,
we get to that, sure.
But there's probably no need for introduction. So in fairness to Adam, he knows like as soon as he says it, people are going to be like, "Whoa!"
Right? Okay.
Hashtag good times.
Yeah, keep following because a little later on today, you're going to see interviews with Rebuilder. Great.
Rebuilder.
Yes. Yeah. I caught this interview with Rebuilder.
How?
I follow this man on Instagram.
So do I.
Thank you, John.
But I didn't see an interview with Rebuilder.
I did. Rebuilder. It's a trio, right?
Yeah, that's right.
There, see?
Three of the guys were there, huh?
Yeah, Hardy felt like he was duped because Adam said there was going to be Rebuilder, and he went out there with his hands behind his back, and then they were actually just playing instruments. They weren't putting up drywall.
You're going to see interviews with Rebuilder, great Boston punk bands, and The Maine, a great emo band from the great...
As a great emo band.
Yeah, they're still doing emo these days.
It's not an oxymoron. Now, what did you say? The GOAT? The Great?
They are called The Maine. The Maine.
The Maine. Like the M-A-I-N?
Like the state of Maine. The Maine. Not from Maine.
M-A-I-N-E?
Correct. That is the name of the band. The Maine.
And they're not from Maine?
No, from Arizona.
What is the point of being the Maine?
They took it from some song lyric that they enjoyed or some poem that they enjoyed, and they decided to turn that into a.
Was it a song lyric or a poem?
I don't remember.
They didn't resonate with you. They were kind of boring.
Did minimum prep for this one.
Well, not so much the prep is what they told you.
I did enough. Well, we didn't talk about that. I did enough to get an idea of what was going on. I was a little. I didn't know if they would be. Pretentious because they wear black and white outfits on stage and all of their videos are in black and white, and we know those in the rock industry it can be a bit of a red flag. They were not pretentious gentlemen. They were quite amiable and
they weren't too full of themselves.
No,
yet.
they weren't
That's
at
good.
all.
Yeah, it was their 100th interview of the day,
and they were smart. They had and no joke. Like I don't understand why more bands at festivals don't do this. Like they had on the big jumbotrons like. you are watching a band called The Maine. Like, and that stayed up the whole time. It's like, yes, you're on stage at a festival in front of a bunch of people who don't know who the hell you are. So tell them who you are. So if they like your music, you'll buy your merch.
Why did you label them an emo band? If you go to themaine.com, it says The Maine with a line, Arizona Emo Group.
Yeah.
They don't want to be identified as that. Have you ever seen an emo band that was that like facing forward on their emo-ness? They usually don't want to be called emo bands.
Like you probably, one of you guys probably got into it, but back when you would interview Jimmy Eat World, they did not like that tag at all.
Well, they weren't an emo band at all.
Their first album was kind of in that wheelhouse.
You know, that first Jimmy Eat World album, according to like many music biographies that I've read or listened to, like the stupid Mark Hoppus one that's on Spotify, so I just happen to be listening to it. That first Jimmy Eat World album, there's at least 5 bands that heard that and go, I want that producer. For whatever reason.
It
might be their second album, whatever, but the one before Bleed American.
The one before Bleed American was Clarity. That's their second album.
Okay, so Clarity is the one that everyone wanted that producer. It was before the other guy sang. It was when the guitar player was still singing or whoever sang.
And The Maine, a great emo band from the great state of Arizona. So again, live coverage courtesy of the Heineken Green Room all weekend long from Boston Calling 2025 with me, Adam 12 on Rock 92.9. Cheers.
Did you get diarrhea from nerves?
I did. Mark Trombino, by the way, is the producer you were talking about.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah,
well, I mean, and I guess we'll give the Maine a pass, too, because they had just flown over on the Concorde after playing another festival. I believe they were at Leeds.
I didn't want to miss
earlier
this
in the
one.
day. And
didn't want to miss this one.
Yeah,
Had to be there.
They look cool in a not cool at all way.
They wear like black and white. It's you've seen the Hives before, right? The
but that's not in their pro photo.
No,
their promo photos. That must have just been for the thing.
On stage, they were all in like white suits with black, shirts under them, which is what the Hives will do from time to time.
Yeah,
yeah.
All right. So, and here's more of Adam 12.
Hey, it's Adam 12, Boston Calling, day 3 on Rock 92.9, courtesy of our friends at Heineken. I'm in the media tent now.
Who is saying shush?
I'm saying shush because he's.
I think media tent.
I think he's trying to keep it down in this.
A lot of things going on. A lot of other interviews happening at the time, trying to not be intrusive.
All the paparazzi and everything. The Maine had just walked in.
No, it's Sunday now. Sunday now. Different day now. Different lineup.
Oh, you don't want to confuse anyone. Okay.
Exactly.
Hey, it's Adam 12, Boston Calling, day 3 on Rock 92.9, courtesy of our friends at Heineken. I'm in the media tent now. A little later on, going to be in the Heineken Green Room. And I'll ask you, but I'm going to ask Sublime later on because I'll be interviewing Sublime. So,
except for the dead guy.
Jesus.
He's not there no more.
No.
His kid
12,
is
it's his son.
12's voice is leaving him.
Yeah.
Like you've been doing blows since Friday afternoon.
Well, you connect with the Maine. You're just along for the ride.
Yeah.
It's like almost famous.
Hold on with both hands.
Adam was on a plane that almost crashed. There was quite a weekend for Adam when running around with the Maine
at the Riot House.
Yeah. I mean, the Maine and all their groupies, and then you got your iffy ages around them. Like you got to be careful. Adam doesn't want to get himself in any trouble. He's a single man.
And I'll ask you, but I'm going to ask Sublime later on because I'll be interviewing Sublime, so keep an eye open for that. But I'm the guy who's maybe breaking an unwritten concert rule by wearing the Public Enemy T-shirt to the Public Enemy gig. They're closing down the Blue Stage tonight.
Did you interview Professor Griff about his when he beat up the quote unquote cracker ass MC Search?
No, I did not.
Because he got on him for liking Farrakhan.
That's right.
What about Sister Soldier? She seems nice.
She was not on hand for the Public Enemy performance, but they did have a couple of S1Ws. I don't think I need to look this up. I didn't see either Terminator X doesn't have his cool,
Terminator X is not.
Is
the
he
DJ
passed
anymore.
away? Is he?
I don't know. But
okay,
he's not the DJ anymore. But I think
Yeah.
Professor Griff, because he's still wearing the uniform all around.
Yeah.
So Professor Griff, who of course I had a relationship with, he used to do my show like every other week. Come in and you could just give him any topic, and he would make everyone mad.
The best.
But yeah, Professor Griff, did one of those Vlad TV interviews. They have a clip of it where he's talking about MC Search and about how he quote unquote beat him up, which I don't think that happened.
No.
But he doesn't parse words.
No.
He does not care for him that he's white. And then he's like, and then I went back on the bus when I got into Public Enemy, and there's people smoking, there's white bitches. he's like, what the hell's going on?
Terminator X retired.
Okay.
And briefly ran an emu farm in North Carolina.
Wow. Oh, like the Maine. That's where they were all stable boys.
Now, last year, it's the shortest Wikipedia page I've ever seen in my life. It's literally 3 sentences. In 2024, his real name is Norman Rogers, returned to worldwide touring as a solo act. Is reported that this coincided with his separation from his wife, who he married later in life, as the couple continues an ongoing litigation in North Carolina.
Over the emu farm, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the Terminator X did because it was that whole bomb squad.
Right.
situation.
They were doing the live drops. I mean, they had a couple of guys on stage. One was cutting records and one was doing what the bomb squad would do.
Okay.
Chuck D did go on stage with Tom Morello before that too. I want to ask you guys this real quick. Tom Morello, he played, and his set consists of like cover songs, like he did "This Land Is Your Land," and of course "The Night Watchman."
Oof.
And then he'll play montages of riffs from Audio Slave songs or Rage Against the Machine songs, but with no lyrics to them. It's just like a 3 minutes of like 4 different, rage riffs that he wrote, which he did it like the second song, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then he did it again, and then he did it again, and I was just like, why wouldn't you just have someone in your band, which he did later have someone sing some of an Audio Slave song, which I guess didn't land very well, so maybe I'm answering my own question, but is that weird that like you wouldn't just you wouldn't play a full Rage song. You would just play the riffs.
I have a theory. Well, first of all, I saw Prince do the same thing, and he's the singer.
Right.
And he just was playing like riffs from different songs. I don't know if I'd want to have another singer going out doing Rage songs because
it just wouldn't land right.
Yeah, and it would almost seem like kind of corny because they seem kind of corny now anyway. But if you had another guy doing them, it might seem dumb. Audio Slave, obviously Cornell's got a great voice, but that seems a little more doable.
Right.
And they did do that. They would cover Rage songs at Audio Slave shows.
Yeah.
But he would rap them?
Kind of in that in between. Cornell could kind of do anything.
I feel like they would do the ones, though, Hardy, like Testify, where it's less rap and there's almost like a little bit of melody to what Zach was doing. But I don't know. It felt weird that he kind of did it a bunch of times. But now that
did they do like that rally around the family with a pocket full of shells? Like I can't imagine them doing that with Chris Cornell.
No,
that just seems like it seems like a lot.
They're the band I'm most excited to see. I got their first 4 albums on cassette tape back in the day when I was in middle school. So, I don't know, like, some people say it's corny and wrong to wear the band's T-shirt to their gig, but it's not their gig. It's a festival. So, anyway, you can let me know in the comments if I'm on the right side or the wrong side.
How many people in the comments?
Oh, nobody.
Of concert history. And you can listen to me live on Rock 92.9 until 6 p.m. from the Heineken Green Room at Boston Calling 2025.
Is it heartbreaking when you ask people to engage and they don't engage?
No.
All right, you were fine with that.
Box checked.
Did they tell you to engage with the audience and ask them questions?
No. Okay. I just did
you made that up on the fly. You improvised that.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how was it as a total? The festival.
I enjoyed it. I always enjoy the weekend. They do a great job. I like
the weekend played
this year. No, the weekend did not play. I was texting you guys on Friday. They had this great arena stage that they added to the lineup this year with kids from it's in the TNR TNH group text. They have like an arena stage where they let Berkeley kids curate it. So there was live jazz happening during. The day,
sounds popular.
I was enjoying that very much.
Was there any elbow room, or did you feel like you were getting crushed? Was it like the Who in Cincinnati? Were there people getting pressed up against the security gate during that?
That's right.
How much room was there around the BU stage? Or whatever you just called it,
like the arena stage. Yeah, there was plenty of room.
Okay,
there was plenty. The space was originally meant to kind of give people a chance to get out of the sun, which ironically they did not need to do this year because it was raining on Friday and Saturday, and then it was windy yesterday. So.
Who headlined Saturday?
Fall Out Boy was the headliner on Saturday.
Who headlined Friday?
Some country guy, Luke Combs.
Okay,
yeah, they're all the same. Doesn't matter. Luke Combs, Luke Bryan.
You know who has no use for Luke Combs? Fonzie. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Wow.
Yeah. You just looked at the clock when I did that.
I did. Did he say that because we needed like 10 more seconds? No, we're 4 minutes late.
No, we're 4 minutes late. Listen, you get as much as you can. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hardy on the way on the
episode.
We're gonna and the Beatles just wanted to pan all the drums over to the left side on that song. Just throw them all over that one channel. We're experimenting.
Yep. All right. So Danica Patrick has just done an interview where she says that she was in an emotionally abusive relationship with Aaron Rodgers, which I'm not quite positive what emotionally abusive relationship means. It doesn't sound good, and I'm sure it's very bad. But Danica Patrick has had some interesting things to say, and I don't know if I've ever heard this before. I just know that she had some beliefs that seemed weird, even as beliefs go. So I'm going to listen to this, and I don't want to make any assumptions beforehand. Ryan gave me this. I'm just going to listen to this. This is Danica Patrick in the past talking about the human race.
The majority of this group of individuals is reptilian. Mm-hmm. But I do want to say that not all reptilians are bad, right? Mm-hmm. We do have good reptilians, just like we have good and bad humans. And they believe that,
Okay, so reptilians are not, it's not a way of describing a human. A reptilian they are reptiles with human costumes on.
It's the movie with what's his name there, Roddy Piper. It's They Live,
yeah,
Carpenter movie. Like she thinks that's real.
Yes.
Okay, so the belief is that there are reptilian people. Some are good, some are bad, and that this is all going on, and that like if you cut under their skin, there's like gills and not gills, but there's like lizard skin. So they're lizards walking around in human bodies, and this hasn't been exposed. How? Like, do they have an inability to die? Do they have an inability to get like in a car accident? They have an inability to get shot. Do they have an inability to fall out a window? Do they have an inability to have any kind? Do they have an inability to have a broken leg? Are they superhuman? I really want to know. Like, because you would think that, like, say I'm in Oklahoma and I'm a lizard person and I get chopped in half. Like I'm in a train runs me over and I get chopped in half. And the coroner comes up. Like the FBI doesn't know to go there right away to cover everything up. So I'm the coroner, I'd automatically see this. Oh, wow, this guy's a lizard. And don't you think you'd take pictures of it? There's the internet and everything. Don't you think that would get out? How have they been able to, are their insides human before? I'm being serious. Like if you got chopped in half as a lizard person, do your insides stay human?
Depends on how evolved you are and, what type of shape-shifting you've entered into. But we went down and explored this podcast before. The woman she's talking to is Elizabeth April, and she's the one who claims she's seen glimpses of people turn, when their lizardness like comes through at an unexpected moment. And Justin Bieber gets brought up a lot. Hillary Clinton is another one. They're all lizards.
Okay, so these are lizard people.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is a popular theory with people. How did this all come about? Does anyone know?
Again, when we went down it before, I looked up one thing, and somebody had a pretty good case to make. It said and this is going to shock you, Fred. It comes from originally maybe some anti-Semitic beliefs.
Who saw that coming?
I don't know. I don't know if that is.
So it hasn't been the last 100 years. Because anti-Semitism pretty much stopped 100 years ago.
Maybe.
Right?
Right.
Because we all know about the 6 Jewish bankers or whatever that whole theory is.
That's right. They all rule the world.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's just, but that's not crazy like lizard people.
The Illuminati behind the Illuminati.
Yes, exactly.
1929, The Shadow Kingdom.
Okay. Now, is this like one of these science fiction books that people kind of picked up and said this is real?
It was a work of fiction.
Yeah.
That someone came up with, and then there was a pamphlet written in the 40s called The Mysteries of the Gobi that described a serpent race. Mm-hmm. So this is some lunatic, handing these out on a street corner, and people said, "Oh, this is a fact."
I just like that it hung around, and the best is when someone's an expert on it. Like they're an expert on this. I know the lizard people, obviously, I've met a bunch of them. I have a real question. If you had a family member and they're like, yeah, they're lizard people, I've seen them. They said they've seen them. They gotta be institutionalized, at least temporarily, correct?
Immediately. Gotta be.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
immediately. But you can't make them stay. You can't make them stay. But you could. I would say like this person. It's one thing to believe it, and just because you like need something so desperately to make you feel superior to others, or find out why your life hasn't worked out the way it's supposed to. That you've concocted this whole notion. But if you say you've seen it, then you got to be like, all right, Dad, it's time to like go see someone. Like, let's get you checked out for a few days where you don't have the option of leaving. Let's give you a 72-hour hold, as they say. I wouldn't know anything about that.
This planet is rightfully theirs because they're the ones who were here long before humans were. A huge influential.
What, do they not believe in the Bible?
Ooh, so everything's fake.
Well, no, but yeah, I mean, so these people are anti-Christian, I would assume.
That? Yeah, I mean, read Genesis is, God created the heaven and the earth, and then the earth was without form, and then he made lizard people after that. No. That's not in there.
That ain't there at all, baby.
Interesting.
And there wasn't just, Noah didn't put a bunch of lizards on his ark. Anti-Christian is what this is.
Well, he only needed 2 lizards.
By the way, Danica Patrick's not attractive. Like, that's what's always driven me crazy about her. Like, they remember she got all that guff for being in those GoDaddy commercials during the Super Bowl where they were supposed to have, quote unquote, sexed her up. Right. It's like, what is Dana? Well, now, Hardy,
and should have been right up my alley.
Yeah.
And even I was like, no thanks.
Yeah.
Really?
It's like Danica Patrick, I don't find to be good looking, let alone hot. And that's not her fault, and neither here nor there. But I mean, she was really like supposed to be a sex symbol for like a long time, and I never got that.
Individuals who have signed contracts to sell their soul, who are these shape-shifting reptilians. And you have to have compassion for them, too, because at the time that they signed those contracts, they didn't really know what they were getting into.
They didn't have an attorney present, which is dumb. I mean,
when you're dealing with the devil, you need all the help you can get.
I like how they have you sign a contract, though, that the devil's like right here. Like they write it out. It's in English.
And he'll wait for you.
It's not in one of these foreign languages. It's not devil talk. You sign a contract, and what do you get? You get to be like the bee's knees for a while, and then you end up, and you got to feel sorry for them because they didn't know what they were getting into when they signed the contract with the devil.
But they are either dying suddenly, right? So this is part of a transmutation, or they can't hold their shape-shifting form anymore, because the vibration's getting too high.
We're able to see more, too.
So I predict in the next 4 years.
All right, how long ago was this taped?
Oh, it's at least 5 years.
A year ago or so?
No, it's further back.
You think it's further back than that, John?
It's further back than that.
Well, I haven't seen anything yet. I do like when they make predictions that something's going to happen, like the world's going to end. They're easy. You can't really hold them down, though. They seem to pivot easily out of those. When they put like an end date on something and that doesn't happen, they're not really backed into a corner. They seem to pivot out of it pretty quickly. They're not held down too much to these dates.
In the next 4 years, the ones who are stubborn enough to stay.
Oh, we're going to see them.
We're going to see them. Do you know
it's not just going to be Adele and Justin Bieber.
Exactly. Remember that girl on the plane video?
Yes.
Did you see that? Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that's a great example of there's going to be an increasing number of like strange events happening because all that has been hidden will be revealed. Like
and
this is
some
the
very
great
famous
reveal.
People that will be
shape-shifting, or they all of a sudden just choose to step out of the limelight altogether, or they have a sudden accident or passing or whatnot.
Ooh.
So whenever a famous person dies, it's because they're a lizard?
Yeah, the vibrations slowed down.
George Wendt is lizard guy or something like that. I'll tell you, I mean, he got that. You think he got that role in Cheers on his own?
Maybe that was what the contract was for.
This is like the conversation during that Thanksgiving when the woman was saying, one of my cats ran away, so I hired a cat psychic. And the thing was that she could only talk to the 2 cats that were there because obviously she couldn't read the mind of the cat that wasn't there because it wasn't in the room. And my mom went, oh, yeah, that makes sense. That sounds like this conversation. That sounds exactly like that conversation. And then I got yelled at because I was making a face, apparently, as if what was going on was idiotic and stupid. But there's someone out there in Massachusetts that's a cat, that's a psychic, but cannot read the cat's mind if it's not present with the cat. That's where the rub is. That's how you know it's real. Because if she was just making it up, she would say she could read the cat's mind that wasn't there, you know?
Have you been shown anybody or?
A long time ago.
Yeah, like in Niagara Falls when I first met my first boyfriend. I saw one.
A long time ago, I had a vision, and this was back in maybe 2012. Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, 2012. Woo. Whoa, now you're blowing my all the things to go whoa about. Whoa! You mean 2112, baby. Oh, Rush. Oh, you like that Rush album, 2112? 100 years from now, it will be 2112. And
There's
Rush
been a
will be
lot
the
of
national
celebrity
anthem.
shapeshifters.
Oh, sorry. Ayn Rand was a shapeshifter, according to Neil Peart.
That one day Justin Bieber was going to shapeshift into a giant reptilian on stage in front of hundreds of thousands who all have their phone on him, who capture it. You can't.
Wouldn't you think things would be going better for Justin Bieber if he had reptile power? Like, Justin Bieber's had to sell his catalog for $200 million because he was going bankrupt. So much for the reptilian people. I mean, he had to really go all in or he was going to be out of money.
He signed a bad contract. He negotiated a bad deal.
Or how about, I don't know, all the abuse he suffered as a child might have, maybe the reptilian thing wasn't working so good for him. I bet you if you asked Justin Bieber, hey, you could be a normal guy your age right now, or you could be Justin Bieber, I'm pretty confident he'd go, I'd take the normal thing. I'm pretty confident I'd take the miles and miles and miles of trauma I went through as a child and take it away.
They have suppressed a lot of these sightings.
Really?
Oh,
who's they?
Yeah, that's the thing. They.
I can tell you, I'm in media and I haven't seen anything. I swear to God.
I figured you'd say that.
You got me figured out.
They have suppressed a lot of these sightings.
Really?
Oh my God. Yeah, there's been a lot of celebrity shapeshifter sightings, and they've just shut it all down in the news, media. In a case like they're on stage and that just happens and they kind of slip their true form. I mean, how do you shut down?
Like, is Jim Baker a shapeshifter? Like, why is anyone who's like super religious, like the Pope, a shapeshifter? That's a pretty cool job too.
Listen, you two dummies, you're the media. You have a media right now. So, don't suppress it anymore. Show it. Show it on your podcast.
Is Trump a lizard person or is it just Democrats?
So far, it's been
it depends on who you talk
musicians.
to.
They're big on Bieber, and they mentioned Adele earlier as well.
Well,
so.
Adele, I mean, don't you think Adele would have made herself thinner if she could?
She did. She did.
Yeah, but post her highest level of fame, I guess every gay icon is a. You have Judy Garland was a big shapeshifter.
Liza
shapeshifter. That's why she took all those benzos, both of them. Big benzo girls. Oh, yeah, Cher's a big gay icon.
Cher's a lizard. Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of live streaming.
I mean, unless you got like a Men in Black situation where someone can come in and move back time a little. Or
I always that's just the scientific community references a movie, a comedy.
Right.
Starring Will Smith.
But they're treating this with like the reverence and
reverence
the
that
respect
it
deserves. Absolutely.
You know, I wonder if this is like Six Pack, and Kenny Rogers is going to take a ragtag group of kids and have them be his pit crew. Like just any movie that exists.
But what you'll see now with these shapeshifters, much like in Stroke or Ace, is that they have to change sponsorships well into their careers.
Well, that they'll have a girl pitch for them, and then they'll have a bad kid with a motorcycle be really good for their team too, but they'll still lose the championship in the Little League World Series. You know, this is like. Unless it's an Animal House situation where they get kicked off campus for partying too hard. Those lizards.
Yeah, that's what they've done before, right?
Yeah?
The Men in Black stuff. Yeah. Oh,
yeah, because of the movie.
Because of the movie
that came out of a guy's head. That's right.
Is that where they got the idea? No, the movie got the idea from them. They saw it.
It's just like a war of stars.
Yeah, they swoop right in. That's how they've been able to suppress the truth. I mean, come on.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, come on.
Suppressing information is what is trying to be done. So I want to know what that
obvious as that.
is from your perspective. What is the most critical information that they're trying to?
Like anything you say, I'll just reference a movie that takes it away. I mean, I'll tell you this, is that some of these people are too fast and too furious. What, do you think they just came up on that on their own? I mean, they're racing Japanese cars all over the world.
How's it possible?
They're drifting. They invented it. You think a human came up with that concept?
That's a third one. Come on.
They're Tokyo drifted.
It's
ludicrous, you'd think.
They'll infiltrate the legal community by means of shape-shifting, like in Soul Man. They will
get into law school and
change their appearance.
Yes, Soul Man, who is really, they take the lizard pills and then they become a minority.
Right.
And then they get into Harvard and you know the rest.
That's a double shapeshift.
That's a double shapeshift.
Yeah, that's tough to do.
To make sure that we don't know about or we don't embody. No.
Well, there's a lot, right?
Okay, great. Perfect. We'll be here a while.
I would say the most critical information is the fact that reptilians do exist and they've been ruling stuff.
Oh, well, that sounded intelligent at the end. And stuff. Well, Danica Patrick dated Aaron Rodgers seriously, and that's all you have to know about Aaron Rodgers, is that Aaron Rodgers dated Danica Patrick. That woman that you just heard, just, reptilian this, reptilian that, was in a relationship. I assume they lived together and things like that, if it was that, and he lived with that woman. And these are the conversations they had. Right. Very good. Yes. All right. Well, Terrence Howard's smarter than this.
Become the new Atlantean.
Yeah, At least he knows numbers. He knows what numbers are. All right. So we'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub headline. for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 985sportshub.com.
Is elongating?
Weekday morning.
Here goes Hardy.
Toucher and Hardy.
I no longer love things.
Let's go. Let's ride.
98.5.
Like, let's roll the dice.
The Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. We're all here today. We have a Slack channel that everyone puts, or people are supposed to put articles up on. I don't do it very often, but John always does. And he had, what I'm very impressed by, it's from Detroit Hockey Now. Mm-hmm. And Mitch Marner is like the big free agent to be. He's a big-time scorer, point producer that obviously, you know, with the salary cap money that the Bruins would have, that you know, they'd be interested in him. You'd think so. Pierre LeBrun says that that Marner is interested in the Red Wings, Ducks, Chicago Blackhawks, and Los Angeles Kings, and reports that Vegas and Florida are of interest to Marner. Well, Vegas and Florida will never be able to get him. The Golden Knights have $10 million in cap space with 5 of their own players to sign. The Panthers have $19 million in cap space, and their Ekblad and Bennett still aren't signed. So the Red Wings do have money to sign him, and I guess that's players want to play in Detroit, I guess. That's always kind of been the case, and Yzerman's the GM over there. But the thing is that if the Bruins offer him the most money, I would assume he would go to the Bruins.
But offering the most money by a little bit or offering the most money by a lot? I mean, we talked about how, I think it was the Red Sox had to pay the suck tax just to get people to come here because they've been bad for a while. The Bruins don't have a head coach. They're struggling. Their roster they have some core pieces, but not a lot of depth up front. I mean, if the prices are even, if some team offers Marner $12.5 million a year and the Bruins offer $13, I don't think it matters all that much.
Why would he go to Detroit, though, instead of Boston? Like, Detroit's not that much better off, and you can say, like, well, Dylan Larkin's there, but, I mean, the Bruins have as much talent as Detroit does.
Maybe it's a younger team that can be better in the near future. I don't know the answer to that. But what I do know is, and I asked this to the room and anyone else when it became known that Marner was leaving, why would Mitch Marner come here? You know, again, not a lot of stability as far as the head coach is concerned, but it might be money, but I think the Bruins are going to have to overspend.
There's teams that have done a lot worse than the Bruins. The Bruins have the most points, I believe, since this century started. Like, they've only had really a down year.
But they are now in a situation where they could be facing multiple down years for them.
Right, but Chicago's a worse team than them, and Detroit's the same, so I don't really understand why those two teams would be preferable other than it's some kind of random geography that he's done. You know, the reasoning for those teams doesn't seem like Boston's an original 6 team, so that's off the table. If he wants to play in the U.S., the Boston's a U.S. team, so that's off the table. It's, you know, he's dead set on playing in the Midwest? I mean, no, because he said Florida and he said Vegas. So there's nothing that Boston doesn't have that I would think would keep him from taking more money from here at all with those teams. And you're throwing out these ideas, which are fine, but they're just not real. Like, Detroit's not in better shape than Boston, and Chicago's certainly not in better shape than Boston to win now or to win in the future. So I don't really understand that argument at all.
Would it be now? Do you agree or disagree that the Bruins are going to have to outspend everyone to bring him in? If the money is even, would he choose Boston over some of these other towns?
I don't know.
Other cities.
Right? Well, if he likes Detroit better than Boston, then first of all, John, I think he'd take more money to go anywhere. Why would the money be the same? This is not really a real argument. But, yeah, John, if he wants to go to Detroit, in Detroit, because for whatever reason, and Detroit offers him the same amount of money as Boston, then he'd choose Detroit. If it happens that both contracts are exactly the same, and for some reason no one will budge either way, he would, if he likes Detroit better, then he would choose Detroit. but it's nothing in the structure of the team or the future of the team that I could see in any way would shape that. Like, I think that the teams that he named are bad. So none of them made the playoffs. They don't have the run of success that the Bruins have. So maybe it's just his personal proclivities. I don't know. It seemed when I read that list, it just seemed more random than anything else. Just talk. Like, just random talk. Like, I don't take anything out of that. Like, his preferred destinations, and then they're all over the map and don't really make any sense. It's just like he named cities he likes.
Will the Bruins step up and overpay for a guy like that, a guy who's going to be making more money than your captain, David Pastrnak? Do you think the Bruins are going to extend themselves like this?
I don't know if they should.
Well, we go back to the argument Ty Anderson was giving us when he was in here last week. The Bruins can't turn their back on talent at this point.
No, they can't, but they can also not pay, an exorbitant amount and make someone one of the highest paid players in the league. They don't have to take that. They can't turn their back on talent like if there was a trade available or if there was, talented players available. But Mitch Marner is going to make, there's a shot he could make more money than anyone who's ever played in the National Hockey League. With the way the cap's extending and everything, I think that they can afford not to overpay if they believe they're overpaying a guy because they're not in position to win right now, right? Like, if they had cap room and they just were like an offensive player away from winning a cup, then you could make that argument. But I don't think that that's a decision that they're going to have to make.
Guys like him don't become available. The plus side to bringing him in here is guys like him where he is. He's only 28. He's a 90 to 100 point a year guy. He's a right wing, which is something the Bruins need. I mean, he's your number one guy.
If he was a center, I would say that there's no doubt that they need him.
Jesus.
But a right wing, what you just said makes me a little less certain that that's where they want to spend all their money. But we shall see. I just wouldn't be worried about that list, I guess is my point.
I have no trouble bringing a guy like that in. You just need another guy.
Fair enough. If they did, it's not like I would, it would be more interesting if they did. It's not like I would, not go to games.
You stand a chance just by virtue of the fact that you're not a Canadian city, because that's the one thing that seems
well,
to
that's
be
the thing is that if he was like naming, if the Bruins were in Canada, then I'd get it. Like, you can't get him because you're a Canadian city. It's like Vegas, Florida, Detroit, Chicago. Like, they're different levels of, two of them aren't happening. And then the rest is just jimble jamble of, and like, your point, John, that the Bruins are so much worse than these other teams. No, they're not. Chicago's organization is 1,000 times worse than the Bruins, and Detroit's the same. Yzerman hasn't done anything for Detroit since he's been the GM, which is shocking because he was supposed to be the best with all he did in Tampa.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. Mac and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox are back below 500 again after a 5-1 loss to Baltimore at Fenway Park yesterday. Orioles outfielder Ryan O'Hearn homered as part of a 3-for-3 day to lead the winners. Marcelo Meyer scored the only Red Sox run of the day and added the first 2 hits of his major league career as well. He's also settled in at third base since the injury to Alex Bregman.
Yeah, it's good. Like I said, my role here is to do whatever I can to help the team win. So, I'm going to get to the field and continue to work hard to do that.
Sox will open up a 3-game series in Milwaukee today. Garrett Crochet will start. The New York Knicks beat Indiana last night 106-100. They now trail the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals 2-1. Karl Anthony Towns scored 20 of his 24 points in the fourth quarter as the Knicks came back from down 20 in the first half for the win. Minnesota hosts Oklahoma City tonight in Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals, down 2-1. Tage Thompson's goal 202 into overtime handed Team USA its first Hockey World Championship in 92 years yesterday, 1-0 over Switzerland. Bruins goaltender Jeremy Swayman had 25 saves in a shutout. Edmonton beat Dallas last night 6-1. They lead the NHL's Western Conference Finals 2-1, and Alex Palou became the first Spanish man to win the Indianapolis 500 yesterday. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Eastern Massachusetts' is leader in drain cleaning and pipelining. Drains by James. Slow drain, clogged drain. You need to contact Drains by James today at drainsbyjames.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Here we go.
Boom. I win. Kaboom.
Yeah. Hit somebody.
We've got a passion for Boston sports.
Get angry.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Fred, what's it like to work with Hardy and Wallach?
What a golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports Hub.
Picture of himself up. Is that a tattoo on his right forearm for real?
Yeah.
Is that not Hilton Head? He's got a palm tree with a crescent moon, and I did Google it. It is Hilton Head.
It's awesome.
If you want to look at my computer right now, Hardy, if you want to look at the computer, this is Hilton Head. This is what Hilton Head uses as a thing. Is he's got a palm tree because I got my broken flip flop. It's just, wasting away again in Hilton Head. I love Hilton Head. Shaker and salts.
It's awesome.
Some people think that there's a woman to blame, but it is her fault because I let her teach my class.
They take him to the woodshed. How about that?
So I'm going to have to zoom in on this because it would seem all too convenient to have the Hilton Head tattoo while you're in Hilton Head. Is it a temporary situation?
Well, that's even cooler if you got a temporary tat, but I don't know if he's in Hilton Head. He's just at a tiki bar and he's got his arm up and there's a tattoo. There's no description of the tattoo other than he has a tattoo. Rocky Suarez had 3 things going for her. One was her left casaba, one was her right casaba, and the other was a tattoo gun and a license to use it. Rocky Suarez wasn't just packing 2 hams in those pants of hers. She also had a tattoo gun and some style. Now, does Gary really have a tattoo? Has anyone seen him recently? Was he even there when you taught his class?
Yes, he was.
Was he there for the whole time?
He was asleep for part of it, but yes, he was.
Was he really asleep?
No. I will tell you this. I looked over to my left, and Gary had his head down, looking at his lap.
Yeah, there's no way that
minutes there.
Yeah, there's no way he was listening to you.
No,
let's be honest. There.
No, I spoke for. How long did you speak for, Hardy? I know you had some audio you were playing, but I spoke for about a half an hour, 40 minutes.
Oh, I was there over an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, I told him no when it was me. But does he have a forearm tattoo of a palm tree? It's my new lifestyle. I'm out there. Where does he live?
Sudbury, right?
Yes, Sudbury, right? Yeah, palm trees, crescent moons. It's a lifestyle. Some people are like, hey, Tangs, why are you moving out to Sudbury? And it's like, I just want to hang loose. It's just Coronas and broads.
Just a sweet guy with the cowboy boots and played the guitar.
It's the Coral Reefer Band. Get it? Because Coral Reef and Reefer's weed. It's a lifestyle. Yeah.
Tush.
Why is that on the Tanguay?
I don't know, but it wasn't
At the
me.
very least, this could take her mind off of her pain for a few hours.
Thank you.
Yeah, get in that bone.
The Kush.
Yeah, she had that kush. Yeah. I'm just like one of those. Yeah. Like one of those Key West detective novels.
In the nude.
Is this like Gary's new thing? Because he's got a band like he's on it at a resort. But I wonder if he just picked up that tat while he was. Well, it doesn't look brand new. It doesn't look old, but it doesn't look brand new. Did he get?
That's why it looked temporary to me, like the super dark temporary tattoo thing you get while you're on a vacation.
Yeah, I'm just holding up my pina colada.
I'm pretty depressed.
To Sarasota. Playground of the rich. I'm just dropping out. You'll find me if you can in Sarasota. Good luck finding me. I'll be over there just chilling. You know, I've don't worry, Emerson. I have people taking my class. I have people filling in for me while I'm gone.
Jesus.
Was he wearing a Hawaiian shirt while you were there?
Yeah.
Was he dressed like Johnny Bravo when Greg Brady turned into a Rex?
Artie, tell him about the Fruppets. Tell him about the Fruppets. What? The
Puppets.
Yeah, the thing you did, the thing with the pets.
They're puppets. Show dance, clown. Show them how it's done.
Puppets, yeah.
You know, my daughter had barn babies for her birthday when she was a kid.
One thing I do remember about Gary is he showed up at the
Yeah, what I stole your idea, but I used live animals. Hey, look, I'm Felger, the chipmunk. Ah! Rabbit. They're hard to contain.
It's awesome.
I got a bunch of rats, and I've made a diorama. I make things out of their feces. They're pellets. I'm fascinated that he got it. Does he really have a tattoo?
So what do you want more? Do you want him to have a real Hilton Head tattoo, or do you want him to have gotten a temporary one?
It's his birthday, and it has nothing to do with him being in Hilton Head, and it's a tiki bar, so I don't know why it would be Hilton Head. And it might, and the palm tree with the crescent moon might not be specific to Hilton Head. It's just I know from my time there, it's on like a lot of cars, like that sticker. And I think I have a fraternity brother of mine that grew up there that has that tattoo specifically because he grew up in Hilton Head. But it might be universal for just laid back.
Several tiki hut bar options on Hilton Head.
Okay, because when I've been to Hilton Head, even when I was drinking, I didn't go to tiki bars very often.
Here's a Yelp of the 10 best tiki bars.
There are more than 10? There are more than 10 to rate.
Yeah, I'll rate them.
Tiki Hut.
I rate them by cup size.
Bamboo Room Tiki Bar.
C cup. Enough, but not crazy.
Loggerhead Landing.
Oh, we're talking about a pair of double Ds. You can just brumski.
Water Witch.
Oh, yeah, that's water sports. She was wearing latex, so I didn't know.
Breeze.
Oh, Breeze, that's a B. Boring.
Blue, BLU, Beach Bar and Grill.
That's a pair of fake cans.
What this blue is?
Yeah, that's the best one.
Yeah.
After hours, it's a real Eros vibe. Let's just say the pool doesn't have enough chlorine.
Lone Wolf Lounge.
That's where I go to write. The Lone Wolf Lounge gets me in the right headspace.
All right, I texted Gary. Is that a real Hilton Head tattoo on your arm? ? South Carolina, ! Love Charleston.
What?
Okay, but Charleston, is that universal to South Carolina? I love Charleston. I just got it on my forearm. Been there. It's like my passport.
I got it.
It's got stamps of all the southern states I've been to. Mobile, Alabama. That's why I got a Model T. That's why I got a guy walking. He's mobile. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, it's a lifestyle. Tim, go ahead.
Hey, Fred, just want to let you know, it just means South Carolina in general. Does not mean Hilton Head.
Yeah, but it means the cool parts.
Yeah, no, it just means South Carolina. My mother's got it on her car, and
Okay.
Charleston's the Newport of the South. So
Okay, well, fair enough.
it's nice.
All right, well, then it's
South Carolina.
It's South Carolina. Fine, okay.
Yeah.
It's still weird that he has the tattoo. Just because it's
Yeah,
not.
I would prefer the sticker just on my car, but everybody's different.
Yeah,
whatever.
well, listen, but I'm synonymous with Charleston. You think Gary,
I've been there 4 times.
When you think of Gary Tanguay, you think Charleston. I love it.
Really?
I need to get this on my arm post haste.
Your first time down there. Good for you.
Well, it's where my new set of detective novels are made.
You count up all my trips there. I spent nearly 3 weeks of my life there. What do you want me to do? Not get a tattoo?
This one, a WNBA chick gets a leg chopped off.
Whoa.
Well, no, it's not really. It's not stupid, jackass. It's about like the last book I really wrote, Arm in the Fall. Was it because I said WNBA? You thought you might be somehow in trouble by association, so you decided to throw the host under the bus?
No.
Now Rocky had a cut-off leg to deal with.
Now I have to explain the Arm in the Fall because of John, who's trying to remove himself from anything. The Arm in the Fall is about the hot Super Bowl quarterback who had an arm chopped off and was killed. This next book is set in Charleston.
Over her shoulder.
It was the Charleston Thundercats WNBA team. She was going to have trouble playing with no foot.
Got it.
That's why I got the tattoo. I love it. I love Charleston. I love the swamp. I'm thinking about retiring there. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to pick up some hours at University of Charleston. At SCAD. South Carolina School of Art and Design. That's why I got this tat. Look at me. I can teach. I got a tattoo.
She was playing with those cold weather in WNBA cities, but had an unfortunate mishap. It's called the foot and the snowblower.
She said, she's like, I can't investigate anymore. I don't got no foot. And they're saying, but you still got those 2 luscious cans. As long as you're sitting down, no one will know the difference.
She slung the soaked limb over her shoulder and waded back towards the beach.
Yeah, she was finding body parts in the water in that book. That was my follow-up book. That wasn't the Arm in the Fall. That was the sequel.
At the very least, this could take her mind off of her pain for a few hours.
Which was lesbo sex. Is what that was. Lesbian relations.
It's a bestseller.
This book's just called Lesbian Relations.
It started as just a kernel of an idea from the epilogue of my last novel. The epilogue just titled Scissoring.
Well, I was watching X videos on my phone while Wallach was doing my course. I was sitting there watching porn because I thought why not? And then it came to me. I'm like, why am I not directing porn? And I know what will get me in there. South Carolina. Oh, boy. And that's a real tattoo, he says.
South Carolina, love Charleston. When did you get it? And now he's gone radio silent.
Yeah, well, I blew out a flip-flop, like I said.
Stepped out a GD pop top. Cut up my heel.
Yeah.
It's like a jam.
Yeah, it's like a jam. All right. Well, that was nice. I like that Gary got that tattoo. Gary got a big-ass South Carolina tattoo on his right forearm. It takes up his whole forearm from elbow to almost his wrist.
The sleeve.
And it's something that, like, if you went to the not the Breakers, but like the Villages, the retirement home in Florida.
Yeah.
That I would imagine that there are at least many hundred people with that tattoo that are retired that are also in the lifestyle. I was going to get an upside-down pineapple, but I thought my wife might go, whoa, too much advertising. All right. Well,
Controversy.
I love Charleston.
Yeah.
It's the best. I drove through in one.
What the hell is he doing?
South of the border, I got a big tattoo because it's right around there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going down 95.
God.
Stop by south of the border. I needed to ride on a swing like a carefree kid. All right. Well, look, that's a little Memorial Day favor for everyone is that Gary Tanguay has the tattoo of South Carolina on his arm because he loves Charleston. And that's why he's decided to get that on himself. Maybe it's time for people to stop getting tattoos. Maybe this is like something for all of us that is probably better off not to have them than it is to have them at this point in life. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. had to knock on wood, but I never had it yet.
Oh, you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
I mean, it's awful, but I mean, at the same time, I got the utmost faith.
Jayhawks were opening for Tom Petty on a tour. And the theory is, Tom Petty heard that lick, liked this song, used it for Mary Jane's Last Dance. So when Chili Peppers ripped off the entire song, Petty was like, everybody steals from everybody. I should know because I stole that riff in the first place.
Okay, here's how I could excuse what Tom Petty did way more than I could excuse what the Red Hot Chili Peppers did, is because, like, with music, like with everything, like, ideas go into your head. Everyone's been influenced. 106-100, if you're just getting up this morning, over the Pacers to make that series. They're only down a game now. That was obviously a must-win for New York, as is probably tomorrow as well. You would have to assume that they don't want to have to try to win 3 in a row.
Yeah.
That can rather be.
They're not going to beat Indiana 3 straight times.
No.
Well, it depends. Neesmith's injury might make it more interesting, but they're not going to beat Indiana 3 straight times.
Yeah, and Neesmith, if you didn't see it, really jacked his ankle up. He couldn't put any weight on it when he was getting off the floor, and it looked pretty bad when they replayed it. And I thought he might have broken it.
Yeah.
And John saying that he came back later in the game.
But it's
adrenaline, and they can shoot it up.
The next morning is what matters. So I'm imagining that ankle doesn't feel too well this morning. That didn't look good. I would bet he skips a game. I would bet he doesn't play in Game 4. That's how bad it looked.
Yeah.
So look, Neesmith has been really valuable for Indiana, but even without Neesmith, they should have won last night, and they should still beat this team. The Knicks aren't good. The Knicks should have lost to Detroit in the first round. They should have lost to the Celtics in the second round. The fact that they made it this far is a minor miracle. Indiana should wipe this team out.
You have to give them credit, though, for 2 things. One is the ability to come back with from big deficits.
No doubt.
They're obviously clutch. And then not counting Game 1 where Neesmith just went so crazy. It's the Knicks' fault, but it's also Neesmith had an unprecedented game, like 6 3-pointers with what?
In the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but it's not only that. It's like he, in the last 2 minutes, hit like 4 threes or something. It's like
8 of 9 from 3 for the game.
Yeah.
So he had a really, really big game. He's playing great defense. Yes, he had an out-of-body experience there for about 5 minutes.
His postseason run for Neesmith, 54% field goal shooting, 54.4 from 3-point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
Great defense at the other end.
Yeah.
On Brunson and others.
It just shows when you draft a young kid, they're not always the finished product when you get them. Like, it can take a few years in the NBA. That's why, especially with hockey, when you look at the draft and they go, all these kids are 17.
Yeah.
They're all 17-year-olds. And to me, obviously in hockey, I guess they know, they can kind of tell. But in most sports, I'd be like, who the hell knows at 17? You know who can't play, right?
Yeah.
But if a kid's got like size or like athletic talent, who the hell knows what he's going to be? You might not know until the guy's 26 years old what he's going to be. So anyway, I would give Knicks the credit for, being clutch and being able to come back from these leads, and also building a team specifically to beat the Celtics in doing that.
Keep 2 things, and you're right about Neesmith. By the way, I would still do the Neesmith trade to Indiana.
Yeah, of course.
Over again for Brogdon and whatever.
Yes.
But hockey, you're right. I mean, we were talking about Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner was drafted in 2015, didn't have a big season, or not a big season until 3 years later.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the evolution of all of that. And the Bruins are going to draft a kid, and people are going to say, well, took him in the top 10. He should step right in and score 25 goals this season. That's not going to happen either. So you make a good point there. But more specifically to the NBA, Indiana has kind of been lying in the weeds here for a couple of years. A lot of people forget they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. And Halliburton was hurt, and they got swept by the Celtics, but they were in a lot of those games.
Yeah, but they beat that Knicks team that was really banged up. The path for Indiana, look, the Pacers are just so boring, and I can't. Yes. And they're it's just not exciting.
It's a better look. I know where you're going. It's a better story for the NBA if the Knicks make the finals.
But you are correct that they were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. But the way they got there was just so easy. Like the Knicks didn't have anyone. The Knicks were complete, like everyone was gone. So they beat a non-existent Knicks team that was never in doubt. And then they played the Celtics tough, but they got swept.
Yeah.
So,
all right, fair enough.
And Halliburton's not good enough to be a superstar. He's just not good enough. He's a very good player.
I think, though, the difference in this series is, and this goes back to a theory I gave you guys last week, Indiana was here last year. They know what it's like. The Knicks haven't been here in a very long time, and there are times where you can see that. Indiana never gets flustered. They may miss shots. They may be missing some people, but they don't get flustered. You see the Knicks get a little nuts at the end of games. I saw Jalen Brunson, I think it was the end of game 2, took a 3 steps behind the line when he didn't have to. You know, the Knicks look a little crazy at times because they aren't settled in. Indiana is, which is why they're going to win this series. This is why they're going to the finals.
Well, I don't think Brunson's like a crazy elite player either.
Well, it stuck out to me that he took that crazy 3 because he normally doesn't. And, yeah, we had this argument with Jared Weiss last week. Is Brunson an elite player? I don't think so.
Well, I don't think so either.
There. He's not a top 5 guy, but he's in the 7 to 15 range.
I don't think he's a top 10 guy. I think we could come up with 10 guys off the top of our heads that are better.
Yeah. Technically now, he's an all-NBA second-team player this year.
Okay.
So technically he is a top 10 player, but I think he's closer to 10 than he is to 5.
Now, is that position? Excuse my ignorance. Is all-NBA positionless, or is it by position?
I think it's by position.
All right. Then
I think for guards, he's a top 4 guard in the league.
Would you rather have Jalen Brunson next year or Cade Cunningham?
That's close. That's close.
Next year,
just saying it's
Jalen
close.
Brunson I'll take next year. 2 years I want Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, I think Hardy's right about that.
See, I take Cade Cunningham because he can do more. He's not a defensive liability. He's going to be able to get shots no matter what because of his size.
But Brunson on the other end, he makes up for it.
Brunson's a better scorer. But I think Cade Cunningham next year will be a better player.
They're both all-stars, but I think Brunson will be better in the short term.
Well, you're wrong.
I think Brunson's better in the short term.
Cade
Cunningham in 2 or 3 years.
It's Memorial Day. It's Memorial Day. We can go through this exercise.
Okay.
All right. The Celtics, Tatum's better. Do you think Brown's better than Brunson?
Overall? Or all around? Yes, I do.
Okay. Then the 76ers, do you think Maxi's better than Brunson?
No.
Okay. No one on the Raptors. Jokic is better. Anthony Edwards is better. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's better. No one on Portland. No one on Utah. Do you think? Oh, you would rather have what's his face on Cleveland than Brunson? Donovan Mitchell. I'd rather have Donovan Mitchell.
I'd rather have Donovan Mitchell.
All right, we did the Cade Cunningham thing. You'd rather have Giannis. You'd rather have Curry. Is there anyone on the Clippers you'd rather have off the top of your head?
No.
You'd rather have LeBron and Jokic. You'd rather have I'm just saying right now. Is there anyone on the Suns you'd rather have? Would you rather have what's his face on the Suns?
Durant?
No. Well, you'd rather have Durant. Would you rather have Devin Booker?
No.
Neither would I. Sacramento, I might be missing someone. The Hawks, you'd rather have Brunson than Trae Young. Hornets, you'd rather have him than Ball. Miami, you'd rather have him than anyone there. Orlando, would you rather have Banchero or Banchero, whatever the hell, or would you rather have Brunson?
Brunson now bought Banchero in 2 years.
Yeah, I think Banchero may be. Dallas, you'd rather have AD. Houston. Now, that just seems like a team, but you know more about basketball than me.
Şengün is their best player, but no.
What is he? Is the Calhoun? Memphis, now you'd probably rather have Brunson than anyone on that team. The Pelicans.
2 years ago, John Morant.
And then on San Antonio, you'd rather have
Wembanyama.
So he's a top 20 guy. He's definitely not a top 10 guy.
All right. All-NBA first team, Gilgeous-Alexander, Donovan Mitchell are the 2 guards. All-NBA second team, Brunson, Curry, and Anthony Edwards, 3 guards on the All-NBA second team. Cade Cunningham, Tyrese Halliburton, and James Harden are the third team guys.
Pat, go ahead.
Freddie, my wife's from Atlanta. She loves you. 99X stud. You're a legend. You're killing me on this Brunson thing, buddy. He ever since he was 10 years old, all he does is win. He's a stud. I don't understand. Like, he's great.
I didn't say he's not a great player. I don't think that it's insulting to say he's not a top 10 player. That's not insulting.
Fred, he is a top 7 player in the world.
No,
he's great.
No, he's not.
He is.
No, he's really not.
At least that's debatable.
You're a Bryant guy. You watch college basketball. I've been doing this since 1993. The guy just wins, and they're going to win the series.
He was fantastic at Villanova. I understand.
Wait, what have you been doing since 93?
That's actually a good question.
I left college broadcasting to go to the real world.
Oh.
And unfortunately, it kind of sucks. I like what you're doing, Wallach, but I want to, anyways, Brunson's a stud. They're going to win the series.
Why'd you give up? You shouldn't have given up. You should have stuck
broke
with
down.
it.
I went to finance. It's a terrible life.
You gave up on your dream? Oh, he hung up.
What are you, a hedge fund manager?
Yeah, the poor guy. Poor guy with his hedge fund.
Brunson is great, but not top 7 great.
Well, I don't think
As
it's
I said,
insulting to go, he's not a top 10 guy.
Giannis, Jokic, Tatum, Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander,
Anthony Edwards,
Victor Wembanyama,
Steph Curry. Still.
See,
oh, God, Jesus Christ, Steph Curry's better.
If you're talking, if you go out a year or two, but I'm saying like right now at this moment, yes, Steph Curry.
No. I'd rather have Steph Curry next year than Jalen Brunson. I mean, Steph Curry they would have beat the Timberwolves if they had Curry.
He's in the 10 to 15 range.
I'd rather have Draymond than stupid Brunson.
Brunson is in the 10 to 15 range.
He does the little things. He does the little things. John, go ahead.
Yeah.
Freddie T, I'm with you on this one, brother.
Yeah. I don't think it's that insulting. I think Brunson's really good.
He's really, really good. But, I mean, again, we're talking about the difference between top 7, which I don't really find debatable, top 10, you can start to make an argument. But to say that he's a top 20 guy in the NBA, fine, that's really, really good.
No, he's definitely a top 20 guy in the NBA.
Of course.
And
right, that means he's an all-star, right? Because 24 guys go to the all-star game.
Yes.
The other thing, too, is a lot of the first, second, and third all-NBA players, a lot weren't qualified to be on it. Like Jaylen Brown couldn't make it because he didn't play enough games.
That's right.
A lot of other players as well. So,
you got to play 62 or something.
A marvelous story.
Also,
I think he's a...
Brunson's a great story. Go ahead. Keep going.
No, I just think it's a great story without question, and fabulous to watch and all of that. You got to root for it. But, yeah, he's a little bit short of those guys because he is a defensive liability.
And I can tell you why.
Anthony Edwards.
Part of the reason Brunson's fun to watch is he's so low to the ground. He's not tremendously athletic. And, like, when he was dominating against the Pistons, he was doing stuff under the rim that, like, it's so much different than Anthony Edwards, who can just – I mean, there was a play, Anthony Edwards did a reverse layup in that game 3 where he was in the air. It was like Julius Erving stuff.
He's an incredible
But
Jalen
Jalen Brunson, like, does stuff like – just maneuvers his body. He's kind of like a tubby guy, and he can't jump, and he just does things.
He takes bigger guys to the basket, gets his shot off, and makes them. He makes every open shot. Except
last night.
Well, but the point is, he maximizes his ability. And one other thing that just crossed my mind: the U.S. Olympic team. Last time, they took Halliburton. They didn't take Brunson.
Right.
And I don't think Brunson was hurt. I think they took – and Halliburton, by the way, didn't play at all.
But
they took Halliburton. They didn't take Brunson.
But the U.S. Olympic team also doesn't take the best players in the NBA, in fairness. Or they wouldn't have taken Derek White and Drew Holiday. They would have taken Jaylen Brown. I mean, the U.S. Olympic team would have been – if you just took the best players, that's why the argument about – putting Derek White on the team was so ridiculous because it's like if I get it, we had this conversation before, but I get why Shane Battier was on that U.S. Olympic team. Like you need a defensive guy and a rebounder, like a guy, and he's a guy who's not going to demand the ball. Like I get all that, but you don't need like 8 of them, right? Like I would say Jaylen Brown is pretty much as good defensively as Derek White. He's a better athlete and a bigger guy.
Guard more people.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's obviously a much better offensive player. So all I know is if I had a high school team and the NBA was my state, and I had to take guys that Jaylen Brown, I'd be like, okay, Durant can't play or whoever couldn't play. Who was it?
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard can't play. All right, yeah, we'll take Jaylen Brown because he's the best.
It's
We
the
already
same-
put Holiday on the team.
I mean, it's the same size, man.
Yeah, I know. It was ridiculous. It was
Especially in
ludicrous.
that tournament against, the teams that you're facing. And yeah, you might run into a matchup problem here or there, but for the most part, you don't have to worry about picking the right players. You can just pick the best players. You can take the sports best players in the NBA, and then you can go up against just about anybody and figure out position later.
Well, they put Holiday on the team, and no one argued with it because he's a winner and a great defensive guard.
Right.
And so I get why you put Holiday on the team. He's Battier. Like, I get why you did that. He's a veteran, level-headed, great locker room guy. He's an excellent defender. But you have him.
Yeah,
you don't put another one of him on the team.
Same guy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox lost to Baltimore 5-1 at Fenway Park yesterday. They split their 10-game homestand. They're back below 500. Garrett Crochet will pitch in Milwaukee this afternoon. The New York Knicks beat Indiana last night 106-100. Pacers still lead the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals 2-1. The U.S. won the Hockey World Championship for the first time since 1933 yesterday. They beat Switzerland in overtime 1-0 in the gold medal game. Bruins goaltender Jeremy Swayman, a 25-save shutout for the win. And the French Open tennis tournament is underway in Paris. Men's 2-seed Carlos Alcaraz and top American Taylor Fritz both playing first-round matches today. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Celsius Energy Drinks. Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9 o'clock.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
beautiful ball of flavor.
And a whole lot of Boston sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider. It's soap on the account of me going number 2. It's a real wild time around here.
Woo,
That's why you work a holiday.
Taking advantage of the empty building.
Yeah,
no
baby.
No worries.
I didn't
today.
even leave the floor. I didn't go down there, but I went down there.
During a commercial break.
Wow.
You didn't even wait till like the end of the show.
Look at you.
No, none of that. But I had to wash my hands. It was.
Yeah.
Would you have a big cookout yesterday? Yeah, some baked beans. Yeah, go right through you. A couple of dogs.
I went to the Red Sox game. I had you know what I had for the first time there? I had a steak sandwich.
How was it?
It's all right. It's fine.
Yeah.
You got to get something that's on a grill there.
I have to give you.
You're going to have a lot of problems.
I have to give you credit as a guy who spent his childhood going to Fenway Park and eating those hot dogs. And I remember when we first started working together, I'm like, I like the Fenway Frank. And you said, Fenway Franks are trash. You didn't grow up in the right area. And then I went to Detroit with the Celtics, walked over to Coney Island, and I'm like, I get it now. I understand.
Well, Fenway Franks just aren't bad. They're disgusting. Like, it's not like they're just a bad hot dog and you need to find another region of the country to eat one in. They're disgusting. They're boiled and put in white bread.
Yep.
They soak the white bread. They're gross. They're honestly,
white bread sticks on the hot dog.
yeah, like everything about it is disgusting. Like if you went to someone's house at a cookout, well, they would never and they were boiling a bunch of hot dogs and stuck one in a piece of Wonder Bread and went here. You'd be like, what is this? This is disgusting. I'm not eating this. I'd rather eat a 7-Eleven hot dog than a Fenway Frank, quite frankly.
Okay.
Because at least there's like a notion of casing on it.
Yep, but then you walk over to Coney Island. I had myself a couple.
You know what? Get yourself a Nathan's hot dog and grill it and fry it in a pan at your house, and it will be way better than a Fenway Frank. I'm not even being snobby about it. It has nothing to do with Detroit or anything.
Yeah.
You could grow up on the moon and find a better hot dog than a Fenway Frank.
I had been bludgeoned into submission 20 years of going to Fenway and eating that.
I don't see a lot of people eating them anymore either. Like, I don't see a lot of like that. Like, I don't think many people that live here, I think they've gotten wise to that you can't be eating that.
That was the one good part of my day yesterday when
going on high pressure business.
No, it was good. It was good.
All right. All right. Well, look, it is Memorial Day. Hardy's regretting working, even though at 10 o'clock, I think you'll take that back. When you can put a bunch of days together coming up this summer or whenever you should, whenever you feel like taking them,
I'm just
bird in the hand.
I'm getting anxious because I was reminded last night that I got to do the power washing today on the schedule of things to do this week. Power washing has to be done today, at least
it's a lot of pressure.
The first half of it. And I'm just thinking, if I were home right now, I wouldn't start this early. I'm not a monster. I understand people want to enjoy their Memorial Day Monday morning, but I could at least have it out. I could have it gassed up. I could have the hose connected. I could be ready to go, say, 10 a.m. Start the power wash.
You got to get that done today. If you don't get at least half of it.
Yeah, the front porch and the garage floor gets done today.
Yeah, because if it's not done today, then who knows what happens?
Well, I'll tell you what happens.
Holocaust, nuclear holocaust.
Once the mulch goes in tomorrow and you start power washing tomorrow after the new mulch is in, the mulch starts flying up and getting everywhere.
Oof.
So you do it today.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Now you're speaking my language.
Do you want to borrow my power washer?
I need it for 10 seconds.
Okay.
All I have in my garage, I have a pitching mound. So there was nothing to power wash in there. And if I power washed my driveway, now I know only to do the part where my car rests, as was evidenced to me by this winter, when there was very distinct lines of terms of what needed to be shoveled. It was if your car was in it, neutral ground was mine. Neutral ground was all mine, because my car has to drive up that to get to my place.
Right.
So if I should power, I want to borrow it so I can power wash like 2 feet of the driveway and then give it back to you.
Okay.
But then I don't know what my landscapers would think. They might think I was getting uppity on them. I don't need that.
I'm going to loan you the electric one. I don't think you're ready for the gas. You're going to cut your foot off.
Listen, I'll use your judgment. I don't want to put myself in harm's way. All right.
He hurt himself.
I would hurt myself. Yeah. Rocky Suarez she was trying to clean herself off after a particularly rough night, and she ripped it off.
Now Rocky had a cut-off leg to
She
deal
stuck
with.
the power washer down her pants, and oh boy. Tsunami.
I texted Tanguay about his tattoo. He said, yes, South Carolina. I said, hey, we're on the air this morning. Can we call you? Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I'm just, listen. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Tanguay. I love Charlotte. I love Charlotte.
But I ain't discussing it.
All right. Very good. We'll be back in just a moment.
the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox played Baltimore at Fenway Park yesterday, and first we present the good news.
Line shot into the alley. That's onto the grass, on the track, up against the wall. Meyer into second base, and the leadoff double in the ninth. His second hit.
That is Dave O'Brien on Nesson. Marcelo Meyer had the first 2 hits of his major league career, but the forever 500 Red Sox lost. They lost to Baltimore 5-1 to the Orioles at Fenway Park. Sox go 5-5 on a 10-game homestand. They're a game under 500. Garrett Crochet pitches in Milwaukee today. At the NBA playoffs, the Knicks came back from down 20 in the first half. They beat the Pacers in Indiana 106-100. They still trail the Eastern Conference Finals 2-1. At the NHL playoffs, Edmonton beat Dallas 6-1. They lead the Western Conference Finals 2-1. Jeremy Swayman made 25 saves in net. The U.S. won its first Hockey World Championship since 1933 yesterday. They beat Switzerland in the final 1-0 in overtime. Tage Thompson of the Buffalo Sabres scored the tournament winner just over 2 minutes into overtime. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Blue Sky Restoration Contractors. If you're experiencing property damage from last week's nor'easter, Blue Sky will take care of everything from beginning to end. Visit goblusky.com, restoring your property and your life for a brighter tomorrow. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
New England plays here.
Down the right side, there's a separation. Touchdown pass. Yes. Perfect dive from Drake May.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
What's the best way to listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Fred, you know what they say? You know what they say? All the feels. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Look at that. I had it. You had it.
Oh, wow. That's exactly the album I had.
Beretta.
By the way, this guy played this song on Saturday Night Live in the 70s.
John
the great,
Sebastian?
Great yes.
Really?
Oh, they had horrible music.
God.
Wow, that's so crazy. How'd you find that? You just put in
TV theme songs, album 70s cover.
When did that come out? I was born in 75.
So that had to be like 78, 79.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I probably got it when I probably got it when I was like, who knows? My dad, you know what happened is my dad probably got it for free because he worked at an ad agency. They probably got it from like one of the affiliates in Detroit. That's probably how I had it.
John, you're looking at the one right now that I have. Yeah,
I have that one too. Yeah. Television's greatest hits, 65 TV themes.
How about that? Hardy and I had the same record.
And 12 and I had the same record.
Yeah, but the one you have is more common. It's got static on the TV.
Yeah.
That was like a TV thing. That was not. I mean, that was advertised on television.
Sure.
That one.
Yeah.
This one Hardy and I had, I think, was only available at Kmart's.
Check money order COD. How are you going to pay for that?
That's right.
Like a COD. All right, so the reason that you're playing Rockford Files, even though it's the best, I do believe the best TV theme song of all time, based entirely on music. Taxi second.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it didn't really fit the show, it's a very sad song. But those are the two probably best. Like, they're legit good songs. What do you have here, Wallach? Because it is Memorial Day, and we're letting Wallach do something.
Thank you so much. I ran across this last night. The Nielsen ratings for the top shows on television 40 years ago today, 1985.
Okay, I will be able to get all of them.
I can tell you now.
I don't need any help.
I have the top 61 here.
Yeah, I don't need any help.
Need to do it. Okay, top. Go ahead. Real.
Okay, The Cosby Show is number one.
The Cosby Show is not number one. The Cosby Show is third.
Okay, so it's
third.
early in the run. All right, so Cosby Show. Okay. I bet you Cheers is not high.
Cheers is 12th.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make that correct. That's not high.
That's not high. Yeah, you would think that because knowing with the legacy of Cheers, you would have thought it was. Cheers was not highly rated until very late in its run.
Only 2 comedies in the top 10. Obviously, Cheers is not one of them. Cosby Show is. What is the other one?
All right. Okay. Is it going to be a 85? So the NBC Thursday night lineup was The Cosby Show, followed by Family Ties, followed by Cheers, followed by Night Court. I could guess Family Ties. I'm going to guess Family Ties.
That is correct. Number 7. Number 7.
I have
Family
that
Ties.
going for me. All right, so you were looking. I am going to say Dallas was number 1.
That is correct.
Wow.
Dallas is number 1.
I am going to see Dynasty was in the top 10.
Dynasty is number 2.
I am going to go.
Look at you.
I'm
Wow.
a loser, a real loser.
So you have the top 3 so far, along with number 7.
Impressive and sad.
Wow.
Oh, but social. I am. This was 10 years old. I was watching TV. Don't worry. I didn't watch Dynasty or that. Oh, okay. So Dynasty in Dallas. That means the one with the hot chick was on it too. The other hour-long one.
Come on, you're almost there.
Not Falcon Crest. Falcon Crest.
Number 4.
Okay, Falcon Crest. All right. So I have top 5 and 7.
You have the top 4 and 7. You're still missing 5, 6, 8. You won't get 8 or 9, but 5.
Is Hill Street Blues in the top 10?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's too gritty. No.
Hill Street Blues.
All right, Adam. All right, Jesus Christ. Stop it. This is like
more sound.
Why don't I control this? Pull it down.
23rd.
Stop doing it.
Hill Street Blues is 23rd. All right.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Number 9, you won't get Miss USA pageant. Number 8 is Death in California, some
movie.
whatever.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
So,
I might be able to. Is there another TV like an epic series that was only a limited run series?
not in the top 10, no.
Okay. So it's not one of those years that V or the day after was
actually,
happening.
V is on the list, but way down at 56.
Oh, okay.
That's impressive that he got that.
V. Huh? I'll give him something for that. All right.
Well, you'll give me something for everything. All right. So the top. So 2 were events, 2 were sitcoms. The rest are hour-long dramas.
There's one that we all know of that's it can be considered a comedy, but it's more action. And
the A-Team.
There it is, number 10.
Okay.
All right.
Missing 5 and 6. Both of them are dramas.
Okay. All right. Let's think. It's 1985. These are 10 o'clock dramas, or perhaps a 9 o'clock drama. And Dallas, Dynasty, and Falcon Crest. We have the A-Team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it a bad show? Are they bad shows? Are they known as famous shows?
One of them is very famous. The other one is just like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so one of them is very famous. Oh boy,
St. Elsewhere is later than that, isn't it?
St. Elsewhere might have been on, but it wasn't in the top 10.
No, no.
St. Elsewhere was probably on, or it might have been over, because you got to remember Denzel Washington was on that.
That's right.
And by 85, I think he was a movie actor. But St. Elsewhere, I believe, was on the air in 85. I could be wrong.
I don't see it here.
Okay, then it came before that.
Yeah.
82.
Oh, is that before L.A. Law? That is before L.A.
before
Law.
LA Law.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, boy. Oh, Hachi Machi. Now we're cooking. If this is boring for the audience, I don't care. One is a show we all know.
Okay,
Yes.
so restate restate what we're looking for, John.
You were looking for. We're missing number 5 and number 6. Both of them are dramas. Both of them are 9
But what
o'clock
is
or
the
later.
list again?
Oh, top
85.
Yeah, 85. Sorry,
Nielsen
40 years
ratings.
ago today. 40 years
85
ago today.
Nielsen ratings. Okay, so I am missing one. Oh, and it was number 5, so it was a big one.
You're missing 2.
Is it? I don't want to ask for too much. Oh,
Okay.
Is it Simon and Simon?
No, not Simon. It's Simon number 17.
All right.
17. Simon
Top
and
20.
Simon.
It's after Heart to Heart.
No, Heart to Heart was on, but Heart to Heart's never. No way that was in the top 10.
No.
Heart to Heart was still on in 85?
Yeah.
Both of them are hour-long dramas.
Okay, is it? It's not like Hardcastle and McCormick or
No,
something.
it's-
All right. No. You can't play the buzzer because I said it's not.
I won't.
I said not to. You just defied my order. Oh, Jesus Christ. 85. Soap. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, my. This is going to bug me. Now, action-y? Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Lawyery?
No.
It's like a soap opera.
In the evening, yes.
Yeah,
It's
it's
along the same lines of Dallas
Falcon
and
Crest.
Dynasty.
Falcon Crest.
I said Falcon Crest.
I don't think you did.
I thought you
No,
did.
we did Falcon Crest.
Knots Landing.
All right,
The Knots Landing.
I'm sorry.
Knots Landing.
That's
Fine.
Knots Landing.
All right, so I'm missing one.
You're missing one.
I said Falcon Crest.
Sorry. Not
you know why
Slam.
you didn't hear it? Because you got excited when I said Falcon.
Val, I've been running all my life. I got it.
All right, stop, Adam. Jesus Christ.
He pulled those clips. He's
You
going
always
to
say
play
you
'em.
like a lot of audio. I'm throwing a lot of audio.
But not
in.
like meaningless words.
It's just the TV theme. Sometimes they take a little bit to get going.
All right.
That's not fair. I'm not Be Real. Come on.
Huh? All right. All right. So I'm missing one. Now I'm going to need hints. It's an hour-long thing. It's not a soap opera.
ABC.
And it's not a soap opera.
It's not the. It's not the Why Will.
It's not a well-known type of drama, but you say it and you're like, oh, okay, that was on.
Well, those are the kinds I like getting right.
I was surprised this one was in the top 10 because John's right. It's not on the level of a Knots Landing or Falcon Crest, but it's in that same kind of genre.
Oh, it's like you're saying it's like an hour-long soap?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Can you give me an actress on it or an actor?
I can't even do that.
Give me a minute. I'll find one.
Yeah.
All right. Because I'm not really familiar. I gave you Knots Landing, Falcon Crest. I gave you Dallas and Dynasty.
Yeah, it was only on like 5 years.
Yeah, but I would know what it because they started doing all of those.
James Brolin, Connie Selica.
Yes.
Wow. Oh yeah. James Brolin, Connie Selica were on. Oh Jesus Christ. ABC.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 10 o'clock show.
Yep.
Brolin had the beard.
Yes. That's right. You're tracking.
I never watched it, but I know
it.
exactly. I know exactly what the show is. Connie Selica and him. You're sure it's a soap opera and not a detective series?
No, the name of the show comes from the location.
Santa. No.
Not a city.
Nope.
Iowa. Oh boy, not a city, but
Florida.
the location.
You have everything right, but the name. I mean, Brolin had the beard. You got the right guy.
Yeah. It's by its location.
Yes.
Where the show where most of the action in the show takes place.
Hawaii.
No, it's not a state.
No. It's not a state where most of the action takes place. It's like not a ranch.
You're sniffing around the right spot.
Yeah, it's
right?
like
Yellowstone.
Mid-'80s, like it was only ran for 5. It's such a forgettable
83 to
hour-long
88.
drama. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
As I said,
but that's the thing I should get.
Yeah.
If it's not a sitcom, which is my area of expertise, but and I did know Cheers was not in the top 10, which I will give myself some credit for.
Should.
I know it. I know exactly. It's about where it takes place.
Yes,
It's about.
that's right.
Yeah, it's Oh God, yeah.
You got the theme ready? 12.
I do.
Okay.
Play the theme. Oh my God, it's a Dallas ripoff. It's a ripoff of Dallas.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh Jesus.
The hint I was going to give you is like if you had successfully
And they're panning out on the thing.
That's right.
Now you're in the.
It's like
right
an
there.
oil thing.
You're right there.
Like an oil thing. It's
sort of, but not really.
No. It's not. It's Jesus Christ.
Ranch, cattle.
Yeah. No.
Get more urban.
That's Dallas. No.
On a cruise ship and you're able to cycle people in and out. If you were going to rip off that concept.
Hotel.
Yes!
Wow.
Yes! There it is. There it is.
I needed too many hints.
You got all 10.
Yeah, but you had it. You had everything other than the title.
Just to round out the top 20.
No. Don't do that yet. It's
Okay.
Memorial Day, and it's for me.
Okay, very good.
How many more sitcoms are on there?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
So Family Ties and Cheers.
Cheers was 12.
Is Night Court in the top 20?
Night Court is in the top 20, number 16.
Okay. Is this the John one at least?
No, it's not.
We're letting this one ride.
But it's not the John one. So you screwed up. No, I don't like this because it's not the John one. But my board does nothing, so I can't control it. All right. Well, I can't think with it playing. Is part of the problem. How many sitcoms have I not gotten out of the top 20?
Let's see. I think you got them all.
Yeah, I got them all.
You got
baby.
them all.
You
Yeah.
better believe I got them all.
There's one that is comedic and doesn't mean to be. The lead character thinks he's smarter than he is. Very famous actor who played James Bond at one point.
Played James Bond. It's not Pierce Brosnan. Oh.
Oh.
What the hell was that show?
Wait, but that's not a sitcom.
No, it's not. I didn't say it. I said it's kind of because it's got comedic intentions, but not a sitcom.
Remington Steele.
That's correct.
Oh, okay, that's pretty
Remington
good.
Steele.
Yeah, but that's not a sitcom.
No.
I don't like when people can't tell me what a sitcom is.
And there are like 3 or 4
half-hour comedy.
There are 3 or 4 that you won't get here.
Okay.
They're Christopher Columbus Part 1, Motown Returns to the Apollo,
Okay.
Honeymooners Reunion.
Oh, that was good.
But
I like that I was alive during that.
There are 2.
Doesn't make me feel old.
There are 2 left. One of which is an extremely popular show that takes place on Sundays. And then there's one that I'm not aware of.
What, 60 Minutes?
That's correct.
Okay, and then the other one you've never heard of. What network?
It is NBC.
NBC. Or do you have a gist of like if it's something that was like a 22 episode show?
I have to look. I really don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know. Just give me talk amongst yourselves.
All right.
I will.
Battle of the Network Stars.
No.
No, if it's a mini series, I might not, because there was the one, but it would have been way higher than that, like the Pride and Prejudice.
It was a detective show. It was an hour. I believe it was an hour long.
Okay, an hour-long detective show, and it's not Simon and Simon.
No.
Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna leave that be.
So Riptide is the name of the show.
Riptide.
I never would have gotten that.
I never would have gotten it.
That's the guy from Hawaii Five-0, isn't it? Was he on that? I don't know.
I don't know. There are a bunch of actors. I don't.
Riptide was a Magnum PI ripoff.
Yeah, Perry King. I've never heard any of these guys.
Oh, Vance Joy.
Of course.
No, that's the guy who wrote the song Riptide. Came out like 10 years ago.
This is the real theme, if you want to know. Here we go.
Bad.
Yeah.
You acquitted yourself nicely on that. Better than when Keith Lockhart was in here a couple weeks ago.
I was buried. I'll admit, I played an octave down.
Well, I'll tell you, Adam really tried to steal everything from everyone, but we still heard how bad Nick was, and Keith Lockhart even said so. All right, we will be back in just a moment.
More.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. You can email us if you want. You can find our email addresses at 985thesportshub.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Toucher and Hardy. I am at Fred Toucher. I did not put a photo up at the Red Sox game yesterday, even though I think that would have been very good for my algorithm. But I didn't do it. I was with two other guys, and I didn't know one of the guys. I didn't want to. He wasn't just one of the guys either. You know. I kept waiting when the thing was over that he was going to open up his shirt and reveal that he was a woman, like in just one of the guys. But that never happened.
Oh yeah, and I'm Cindy Lauper.
Lauper.
Went on set. Cut. It's Lauper. We're going to do it again. Everything was great. Lauper. Cindy Lauper. Take. I don't want to ask this question out loud for Mitch because I'm afraid of the answer. Mitch says, watching the YouTube today, what's with Adam 12 and all those bracelets?
Everybody
What kids made
for
him
the bracelets. It's such a random thing.
Well, because you have a lot of bracelets on him.
Which is, but it's funny, though.
Well, let me finish asking the question. Let me eat up as much time as I can before we get an explanation of each bracelet. That's what I'm wary of.
No, you're not going to get that, though.
Does he know he's a grown-ass man? Does he wear them all the time? Is it hippie code to other hippies? That's from Mitch.
Well, I'm not a hippie, first of all. And yes, as has been pointed out the half dozen times someone busts my balls about this, they're made by my kids. And as soon as I say that, they go, "Oh, that's great. That's wonderful." So maybe ask the question before you bust the balls.
But my daughter made me bracelets many times over the years, and you wear them for like a day. And you let the kids see you wear the bracelet around for like a day or two at the most, and then you take it off.
Well, maybe when, you and your wife get divorced like me and mine did and Fred and his did, maybe you get a bit of a different perspective on, like, the time you get to spend with your kids and what your kids mean to you. Maybe that'll shift for you a little bit.
Yeah, Hardy.
When that happens.
Instead of screaming at your son when he comes into the bedroom last night to actually tell you something nice.
No, we still scream at the kids all the time.
Oh, my God. I was so mad.
Do you shower with those on, though?
No.
Oh, you don't? You take them off when you shower? Because I was going to say, because they're made of, like, fabric or cloth
but
or whatever.
I do have one special bracelet that I only wear during the summertime, and I put it on at the beginning of the summer. I take it off at the end of the summer.
So today is the first day?
That stays on all the time. No, I wait till my first swim at Walden, and that stays on all summer. It gets all the minerals from the water that I swim through. It's a lovely thing.
Is it a Walden Pond like access bracelet?
No. It's some bracelet I bought at some gift shop. Like
now, you live in Woburn.
Yeah.
And so, how far is Walden Pond from you?
Well, from here, it's 15 minutes.
No,
John
it's
does
not.
not want to agree with me, but it
not
is. And I'm
15
going to.
minutes from here.
I'm going to prove
Well,
it
today
to you
it
guys.
is.
Yeah, today with no cars on the road
guys.
it is, but on a normal day it's at least twice that.
I would leave my shift on Rock 92.9 at 3:45, and I would be pulling into a parking space a little bit after 4 at Walden. I'm telling you, it's a 15-minute drive from here.
Maybe in the summer
it's
different.
probably 20.
In the summer, maybe it's different because.
Do you fly there? What
No,
road
I drive.
Do you
the speed
take
limit,
95 to Route 2?
To get there from Woburn.
No,
yes.
from here.
From here, no. I take 117. And
I don't even know what 117
That's up
is.
as you go towards the highways, right at that gas station, you bear right instead of going straight towards the gas station.
It just basically if you just keep going, it takes you out to Concord
Because
and then
to
points
get
west.
to Milo's school, you have to go by Walden Pond on Route 2. And I just know getting up 95 is enough pain in the ass. And then getting on Route 2, you think you're flying, and then you start getting around where those lights hit.
Yep.
And then, traffic can be backed up.
It's
5 miles.
It's 9.9 miles away.
You're not getting there in 15 minutes from here.
And right now it says 15 minutes, but I got to believe in any kind of traffic at all, it's not 15 minutes.
But that's the thing is there's no traffic because there's nobody going that way to get to that point. Like
I can tell you at 3:40. I don't doubt. The way you go is different.
Right.
But if you were taking 95 to Route 2, I can tell you by all means you would be.
I used to drive
traffic.
when we worked in Dorchester. I would drive from Dorchester to Walden, and that would sometimes take me like 45, 50 minutes because I would have to.
There couldn't be a place on the planet more poorly located for a business than Dorchester.
Yeah, it was bad. And I got to work there twice because remember the Globe was there for years.
It's not even easy to get to the city from there. It's all horrible.
That's bad.
I'm sure Dorchester's great. You're by the water and
not
everything
that
else,
area
but it's impossible to get to. It's in like a nook It's just impossible.
UMass down there, and
you're right. That road runs right by there, closes every other day because the
it washes out because of the high tide.
High tide comes in.
What is it? Marcy Boulevard. Yeah.
Marcy Boulevard.
Oh yeah, but you would try and sneak around it and go that other way, and you had a drawbridge to contend.
That's right. Is that the Fore River
thing?
Yeah.
It was like pick your poisons. Like, do you want to sit on a highway in the city in bumper to bumper traffic and go through that madness? Or do you want to go on a road that may or may not be shut down where people just leave their cars parked sideways in the road and you have to get out and go, hey, dude, can you move your car? Like, I literally can't get by you. And then
I'll cut you.
Yeah, I'll cut you. No, I got out on that road, whatever the hell that road was, probably Columbia Boulevard 5 times to say, like, dude, I just can't get by you. I know your hazards are on, but you're still in the road.
But I feel this is not a hazardous situation for you. I feel like you're just running an errand.
And I felt that beeping was more aggressive than actually plaintively asking if I could, and asking for sympathy. No one ever got mad, and no one ever said no. They would now not always move the car a lot, but they would move a car enough. I mean, there were times where I would have to go the wrong way down roads because I just said F it. Or the time that that it put me through Roxbury and my GPS had me go into a building.
That was on the Northeastern campus. Yes. Right?
Oh, no.
That was a different time.
It wasn't. It might have been the Northeastern campus. Yeah, by then.
That would make sense.
That's right on the edge of Roxbury.
Yeah.
I had to go to the Reggie Lewis Center more than once over the winter. So
yeah, that was just.
But yeah, there's parts.
I was on the phone with Adam while I was doing that. And I thought I was going to lose my mind.
Yeah, because I was trying to talk you through where you were, because yes, there used to be roads on that part of the Northeastern campus that borders that area, but now they've changed.
It's a red line neighborhood, and it's deliberately difficult to get to. It's what they've done in these northeastern cities is they've redlined them, which is better than what they did in Detroit. Was they just said we're building highways through your home, and there's nothing you can do about it. But but it's a red line neighborhood because they don't want black people out of those cities. They want to make it as hard as possible, and that's exactly what's happened. And so it's impossible to drive around there. It's to get to Route 9. When I was on the phone with Adam, I was like a quarter mile from Route 9 the entire time.
And
all I had to do was get on Route 9 West. 20 minutes.
More
might have been on the phone for a half an hour.
Yeah.
And I was just, how do I get to Route 9? And I would back up the map, and I would be like, there's got to be a way. It was legit a maze. Ay. That's terrible. That's terrible. I would find a way not to have to work in Dorchester again. This is another Adam 12 one. He seems to really be grating on people today.
Yay.
This is from Brian. Freddie Bebe. It just dawned on me that Adam sounds almost exactly the same as Ryan Seacrest. Not sure anyone has pointed this out prior. Also, Nicholas sounds like Billy Bob Thornton in Sling Blade, which is more apt. I'm not familiar enough with how Ryan Seacrest talks, although we were DJs in the same market. But he preceded me almost. I came right when he left. He was on Star 94 in Atlanta, Georgia, doing either afternoons or nights. And then he went out to L.A., and then he got that little show that could, American Idol.
So was he syndicated out of there at all?
No.
Or was he just doing
one
show, one market?
Show, one
Wow.
market, Ryan Seacrest. He was a kid. Like, he was a good DJ because I guess he got the job in L.A., but when he got the American Idol job, that wasn't considered like a big deal.
He actually co-hosted it that first time,
with
right?
that comedian that ended up quitting or getting fired or whatever. And but for Ryan Seacrest was the thing about working in LA is you're going to get a TV gig. If you're a disc jockey and you want to, you're getting a TV gig. Everyone that was on Kevin and Bean ended up in TV. Kimmel, Carolla, even the guy that Ralph Garman, all those guys did. The night guy at K-Rock was on MTV. Like all
Stryker.
Yeah. The big one from TRL.
Carson Daly.
Carson Daly was a DJ in San Diego or LA. Like, because you're just where the industry is, so they just hire you. Like MTV used a bunch of New York disc jockeys because you were there. Dr. Dre and Ed Lover. Like, they just used dudes that were like in the market. So much of getting those like garbage TV jobs. Now Ryan Seacrest ended up turning into a huge thing, but part of the deal with getting that is they're just so lazy and they pay so little, like no one would move for them.
Right.
I told you when they offered me the VJ job, it was $30,000 a year to move to New York City.
Oh, wow. A 300 square foot apartment. That's about what you could afford.
If that.
I couldn't have afforded an apartment.
Yeah.
I couldn't have afforded an apartment.
No, not on that. You would have to do something. Do you want a little Seacrest for compare contrast?
Sure.
You're walking into a home that has been built and people have lived there and they've hosted their friends for many, many years. And you walk in and you just want to get a coaster to put your drink down.
It's not even a distinctive voice.
No,
really.
it just, I think today, and my voice is blown out because I was just yelling at people all weekend.
Yeah, you were just screaming for the main.
Yeah.
You had to get your voice heard over the main as
That's right.
they were playing.
I actually did because I had to do that interview while there was a band playing on the green stage. It was not ideal.
Mention, I don't know.
You sound a little Seacrest today, Hardy. That's what I guess.
He's known for that gritty voice of his.
Yeah, he's known for really standing out. He's got a very unique personality that people gravitate toward.
How was Public Enemy?
They were great. They were energetic. They came out on stage and immediately Chuck D's like, yeah, I'm a Knicks fan, but takes off his shirt. He's got a Tatum jersey on. Flavor Flav's got a Tatum jersey on. They're shouting out Tatum and shouting at the Celtics, winning the crowd over. Again, I was impressed. I was a little disappointed. I could tell when they went into 911 as a joke that there was a vocal track and Flavor wasn't doing it live, so that kind of bummed me out. But no, Chuck's lyrics were great and Flavor was energetic and it was my first. I never got to see them live back in the day, so it was a nice little bucket list band to see.
All right, very good.
Not even with Anthrax?
Bring the noise.
Did they still have the S1Ws?
Yeah, they did. They started the show. The two S1Ws came out on stage,
Only
saluted
two?
each other. Yeah, just had two. Saluted each other, did their synchronized moves, and then the show began.
There used to be a lot more than two.
That's right.
So it was just the two S1Ws, a DJ, and
Two
Flavor
DJs.
Flav.
Flavor Flav, Chuck. So it was like six guys.
Oh, there used to be a whole situation.
And they brought out a couple of local hip hop artists whose names I did not recognize. I'm not remembering to kind of hype up the crowd to start, which I thought was a nice touch.
Well done, Adam. Not remembering them. I guess they weren't white.
I think one was.
Oh, was he?
Might have been.
All right. Very good. We will return and we will package this whole thing up. You still regret you worked today, Hardy?
No, it's fine.
Now that it's over.
This was the move.
Yeah.
This was absolutely the move.
I'm telling you,
I was
it's the
so
move.
mad last night. I was so mad last night after working Boston Calling 3 days, but this was the move.
I'm telling you, because now you got all day.
Yeah.
It's not like, none of us were going anywhere.
That's
we
the
weren't
thing.
traveling.
Yeah. That's the way I sold it.
Yeah. No,
well, I didn't care if you guys worked today or not. I was just going to.
No, I agree. It was.
I didn't try to sell you guys on it at all. I'm just telling you, I work it generally because it's garbage here.
But would you look at that? We move as a unit now, right?
Yeah.
It's the new vibe here.
Yeah, we're like the S1Ws.
That's right.
All right. I'm like the Professor Griff. You got to, Adam, you especially got to see the YouTube video of him talking to that Vlad TV, and they're like, what was between you and MC Search? He's like, man, and then Public Enemy, all of a sudden, they kicked me out, and they let me back in. And then I'm like, what's going on here? I'm the bad guy. You're smoking on here. There's white bitches.
I'll pull that up. It's great. See it.
I want to be Sister Soldier because I have ideas about things.
She played the news reporter in a lot of things. Okay, we'll be right back.
Sports Hub headline. Toucher and Hardy to wake you up no matter where you
Or
are.
who may or may not have been to jail.
Get the app. The 98.5 The Sports Hub app.
Fred describes himself in 7 words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Toucher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hi. We're Toucher and Hardy, and we worked on a holiday, which means we get another floating holiday. So this is already over. And now the future is yours. All right, Hardy, what is going on? What have we not got into?
We mentioned the Marcelo Mayer call-up and recording his first major league hit, double yesterday. We mentioned the video, but we didn't really experience it together. Would you like to listen to the audio?
Okay, so this is the Woo Sox manager telling Mayer that he is being called up to the major league team.
We got, they don't, I don't think they want you to start game 2 either. So we're just going to play it by ear. But it'd be hard to start game 2 here if you're going to be active in that way tonight. Let's go, baby. You're going. Congrats, dude. Hell yeah. Well deserved. Thanks, Trey.
Wow, the emotion. It's unbelievable. The 4th overall pick in the draft.
He was completely blindsided by this
The 4th
news.
overall pick in the draft after Bregman got hurt.
Me? I'm going?
Me? This little kid that could? The kid that had 7,000 scouts at every game since he's been a freshman?
At the age of 22? I've waited so long.
Yeah, the guy who's been in pro baseball for 4 years, I'm getting to go? The guy with the multi-million-dollar signing bonus? I get to go?
I'm going to play baseball?
Goodness.
For the big team?
So listen, they're playing right now.
You know what? Stop it, because this cheapens like all the ones that are actually kind of cool. Like, and good for Mayer, and I'm sure he was really nervous, and it's great that he got to put on the uniform and play and everything. But I mean, this is a guy who's been in multiple spring trainings. This is a guy who got a huge signing bonus. This is a guy who's been treated rather well. This isn't some knock-around 31-year-old that's had roommates for the last 10 years, you know, getting called into the office and saying, oh, guess what? You're going up today. Like, you're pitching tonight. Or you're going to be in the bullpen for tonight for the Red Sox. And then it's like this unbelievable experience. This kid's pretty much known he was going to play in the major leagues since he was 13 years old. Or at least had a pretty good idea of it. Not to say he has not worked hard. Because pure skill alone will not get you to the major leagues. Hard work.
That's right. Now, Fred, you went to the movies this weekend?
I saw, on Friday with my daughter, I saw Lilo and Stitch.
I went to the movies this weekend, saw the Final Reckoning Mission Impossible movie. A woman in Argentina went to the movies this weekend and was injured after a piece of the movie theater roof fell on her during a screening of Final Destination.
Oh, boy.
Bloodlines.
Ooh. Creepy.
The piece managed not to hit her in the head as she was slightly tilted on the armrest. And you can trust this fully. She's
probably farting.
This comes from...
She was probably exposing her buttock to
right,
break
just
wind.
lifting the one butt cheek. This comes from infobay.com, which sources
Yeah, we know.
news from Argentina, Colombia.
I mean, come on. Yeah, we know.
right.
Don't speak down to us.
This is absolutely a thing. Don't you worry about it. This is not some ploy to get more people in South America to go see the Final Destination movie. Have you ever seen one of those?
No. I didn't even know they were movies.
Is it the one where they like someone gets a sense of how they're going to die and that
someone cheats death
At the
right?
beginning
That
of the
was
movie,
beginning,
they escape death, so death hunts them all throughout the movie.
They land in Orlando.
But they all
after
die
after they've had to switch planes twice.
But they all die in very circumstantial ways.
It's a story of a family having to transfer twice.
Two changes. But you save $40 a ticket.
Exactly.
Hey, times 4, that's $160. That's one more dinner we can go out
And you're pretty much guaranteed to make both flights.
Yeah.
I mean, what could happen?
I did start watching a new show over the weekend, though, that I think you would like. Do you like the hour-long series crime drama stuff, especially when they're not set in the United States?
I don't know if I've ever watched one. I didn't like Peaky Blinders.
You didn't like it?
Nah. Everyone I know likes it. I didn't like it. It was just annoying to me. I think because I live in Boston, it was just annoying to me.
This is a Tom Hardy, and as we were talking about Remington Steele earlier, Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, that's supposed to be good, yeah.
Mobland. Started watching that over the weekend. I could recommend it. Absolutely. It's got Tom Hardy in it, so you know it's going to be good. I mean, it's not, Venom. There's no esoteric cameo so far in Mobland, but
I wouldn't be surprised if there is one.
Fingers crossed.
I wouldn't be surprised if there is one, because he has no lines in that Venom movie, but it's a real, he's in Vegas and he's walking down the street and it's just him and Tom Hardy and they bump into each other.
You don't have to look for him. It's
thrown in your face.
Right. It's Tom Hardy saying, "This is my friend. He's going to be in my movie."
I like his rap stylings.
Right. That's right. So that's it. We saved a couple of things for tomorrow.
Yes.
Including, I believe, Gary Tanguay will join us on the show tomorrow.
To explain his South Carolina tattoo that he's now got all over his forearm.
Correct.
And we also we have Jordan Hudson stuff. There is more for that from that. Strangely, she was on a podcast that was. There's actually a couple levels to it. She was on a podcast that was. One of the members of the podcast admitted was scripted, and now the audio of him calling it scripted is not up on the podcast website. So,
of course not.
It's a radio show. He has a radio show, but he's also on the podcast. And the radio show where he said it, it was taken off the radio show page. Strangely enough, the Ryan Clark podcast is not playing with journalistic integrity rules. They somehow let Belichick get away with it. All right, Nick Cattles and Andrew Callahan are in next. We're the only show that's on every day that showed up. They don't do it for us.